misfits out there on the interwebs. Welcome to tonight's episode of Midnight Ranting. Does religion do more harm than good? Yes. So won't you join James W. and myself, Amy Newman, for a good time losing our religion? We almost brought in the mimes, but no, there's lots more time for fun. Welcome to this episode of Midnight Ranting. Does religion do more harm than good? And Buttercup also wants to say hi.
I know, Rubiks, it's not midnight, but...
That's right. We are doing a pre-midnight. It's midnight somewhere.
So just... think of this as we meant to go midnight last night, and now we're going. So we're like almost a day behind.
Or are we in the future? Probably not. That's okay. Saying love.
Until yesterday. Oh. Lunch. Food bowl's looking empty, Amy. Come on. Come on, bitch. You're good for something. Putting food in this,
right.
in this bowl.
I will say, you can tell which species is in control of the household because one of the organisms picks up the other one's poop. And so I feel like they are truly the dominant species.
What's the thing I read one time? It's like, because Gizmo used to do this. He would always wake me up like an hour before I would have to get ready for work to be fed. And I'm like, I look up online and like, why does my cat wake me up in the morning? And it's like, congratulations, you've just been trained by an animal who poops in a box on the floor.
That's right. The Almighty. The only gods that we can prove anyway. However, we're Skeptic Channel. After the hosts, the schmucks that you see before you give our opening statements, we will be opening up so that you can tell us what you think about the subject. But we do want to thank you all out there on the interwebs so that you can, if you don't mind, occasionally hit that like button because it sends it out into the algorithm. Eventually the algorithm will come for us all, and even you. That's okay. Let's follow and subscribe because you can be joining the Skeptic and Ranting community. That's right, baby, because when you hit that bell icon, it sets it to all so that you see our premieres or join our live streams. I sent a Patreon exclusive out there, and I'll be sending it into the channel members about the Skeptic gaming logo that just came out. I do also want to thank you all, everyone out there. Oh my goodness, right away, I see love. That's right. What's up, Scott Duke? I love it when midnight comes early. Woohoo! I want you to know right now that nothing ever comes early. You always come exactly when you're supposed to. TM another comedian. I forget who that is. Anyway, sending love to Scott Duke, who is giving us love and support. And we are going to send love out to everybody out there. What is up? It's a Rubiks and Beamsy and Harry Potter, apparently. Oh my goodness. Magic is real. Janus Farmer, what is up? And Ember. Boo, 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 boo. Marina. Jason. Jason Jacoby, and Peter. Peter, what is up? davegar, Beamsy, Jesus H. Christ himself.
Christ on the
And
clock.
what is up, Brett? Boo, doo, doo, doo. What is up, everybody? What is up, Khaleesi? And I have a start here. I have a question. Or a comment, really. I am doing deep diving more videos on transgenders.
Right into this.
Love to. Well, I will get out of the housekeeping. This housekeeping sponsored by
Brett.
Sending love to Brett, who I am interested. Well, I guess I kind of know a little bit why you are doing more transgender videos now. I was kind of discussing with James before you, and I feel comfortable talking about these subjects only because you did videos now. Oh, and actually, brought to you soon. Ho ho, Rubiks. What's the difference between an atheist and an evangelical Christian?
Oh boy.
The atheist is honest about not following the teachings of Christ. That is true. We tend to follow a lot more of their own commandments sometimes than they do. I think that some of their commandments could be probably better written. Even in a napkin, we could probably do like do not own slaves, which was kind of on our recent topics. We seem to be the only people that have to take the very position that slavery is immoral. It's very hard. But sending so much love to It's a Rubrik. Sending love. Rubiks gives us so much
very courageous
support, yes. And we are giving them so much love and support. Don't mind my comment.
See another.
I feel left out. There. What did I do? Wink, wink. You see? Oh, I feel left out. You see what I did there? Oh, let me tell you. And wear out that butt
they
plug.
They get worn out pretty quick, huh?
Indeed. But I guess I'll address this. We'll send out shout-outs, and then we'll move on to the topic.
We'll be doing a full response to it coming up.
Yeah, we'll do more of a full. So, Brett, this is my two things about those two videos. I appreciate that you did a response video back. I would say James and I, let me try and be as nice and as diplomatic as possible. We do not feel that was a good steel man of our views. I would find it hard. Whenever I hear the word nothing, and it's just attached to atheists. Atheists believe in nothing. It's just like, where do they even make this stuff? It has to come off a farm. I would say, actually, no, it has to come off a dinosaur adventure land. There we go. Kind of like a farm. And there were other, I'm trying to remember. Oh, you said that we believe that faith, we believe evolution and the Big Bang on faith. And so it is equal thus to a religious position, which if you know any of our positions as skeptics, that is exactly why we don't believe in evolution and the Big Bang. We believe in evolution and the Big Bang because there are facts supporting them. It's not like our beliefs. It's not a leap of faith. It is that we're forced to believe so because that's reality. That's the truth about the nature of the universe. It's not a democracy. We don't get a choice in it. we could deny science, but that's not really the same thing as having faith. In fact, it's the opposite of kind of having faith, which is the excuse you give when you don't have evidence. So I guess we'll do a more full-throated response tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I'll just very quickly do the other thing. I can't help myself. And I'm trying to package this. I noticed you've been getting a lot of love in your anti-transgender videos. Not a lot of comments in your personal coming out story video. I guess the Christians weren't super excited about that. I was telling James that, like, we should be in prophets because this is how it goes, okay? Each and every time. And I could do, like, at this point, a montage of me roasting ourselves for this happening. This is how it happens each and every time. Someone who very much is anti-gay or anti-transgender comes into chat, or that's like their thing. That's all they want to focus on. And when we bring it up to them, we go, I don't know what to tell you, but like, this is a warning. 10 out of 10 anti-gay dentists, and by dentists, I mean the people that come into our chat, seem to love sucking dick each and every time. And every time what happens is these people go, hey, don't you say I like a big old D in my mouth. I'm giving relevant points about, like, bug parasites up my butt that make semen taste yummy. And slowly but surely, each and every one of them who says that I was projecting gives me a story about why that semen is just so addicting. Which is, I will say, not an addiction I have found yet. I'm not saying it's, it's the worst thing ever, but it's just like, I don't know, maybe the parasites haven't burrowed into my brain. But
you'll mix them in your daiquiris?
I need to mix them into, like, I need to make mixed drinks. And so I should do it like, if I were to control F on your channel, it's all it's like trans, LGBTQ. It's like, holy fucking shit. And you then do this story after all this, and I push you and I pressure you just a little, just gently, not like a butt plug or anything, but all of a sudden you have a story of multiple stories where you are, once again, I feel comfortable saying this only because you said this. You either are a cross-dresser or you were a cross-dresser, Brett Keane. I don't know what else to say to that except for it explains why you're doing anti-transgender videos. This is what happens every time. And so I hope that eventually, like, it's the joke, not joke, that you should, sometimes, there was almost like nuggets of things where I could be sympathetic to you and I could have a good conversation for you. But I'll say the most, the one sentence that, oh, no, not closeted. You can go to his channel where he has released a video on this. It is up. It is not unlisted or private. It is a public video. And unlike the anti-transgender videos, there aren't a lot of comments on that one. I wonder why. Because it's kind of saying, I am the thing that I hate. Now, I'm not saying you hate us. I'm just saying that this is what happens every time. Every single time. You also talked about aliens in your video about us. I just couldn't help but bring that up. It just popped into my mind. So I guess we'll address that too.
I like aliens.
I'm wearing. I mean, there's no way. That's definitely Peter's account.
Peter.
There's nothing wrong with like you did cross-dressing, or that you decided that it wasn't for you. It's just weird. It is the definition of, it's both a coincidence and a little bit of an irony to then make your channel dedicated to anti-transgender. And he keeps on saying, like, well, you do a lot of anti-God videos. Oh my, does religion do more harm than good? It's true. That is our shtick. But my shtick has nothing to do with my junk. And let me tell you, needs to be trans activists out there. I really need to send love to all of the transgender men and women that do what they do, especially on that topic, because they must even the pay. You think I have patience? Just go listen to the line, please. Go listen to Arden and Katie. Go listen to Dr. Ben, and then you will learn some patience. But I just like my James and ours shtick is that we're trying to push skepticism. We are merchants of doubt. And so that tends to be our thing. Woo! Thank you so very much, Disciple Day. That's right. I guess we will transition, because we'll talk about it more in length in the coming episodes. And look, I'm still sending love to him. We'll figure out, I guess, that together. We'll figure it out together, James. The Skeptic and Ranting family.
We'll deal with our confusion together.
Exactly. Disciple Day, $10. Cats. Better than the musical. Or not the musical. The movie from the musical. And likely a little bit of comedy too. A little bit of comedy. Look forward to learning from and laughing with you all tonight. Sending you all of that love, laughs, and a fantastic night to you as well, Disciple. And fantastic cats, which every cat is fantastic. So is every pup. Boo. As Ricky Gervais says, he does not believe in God, but he does believe in dog. So whatever works. And with that, I think we're going to switch it off into our opening statements and then right into the... Oh, we have to do our shout-outs. I keep on forgetting. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, James, we owe it to him. We'll do we've been trying to make things go at a faster pace because we owe you guys, gals, and everything in between decent content. But we also want to give our shout outs. And so, new on the board of shout outs here, we want to double shout out Khaleesi. Welcome aboard. Thank you so very much. Lovely to have you. And Khaleesi would like to send you all a reminder that, my goodness, it turns out that it seems like this religion thing, we're going to have to replace it with something alternative, like the Skeptic and Ranting community, which we can't really replace religion, but we could replace some of the better aspects. I should say that. You shouldn't try and... But also sending love to Emily, who we have definitely been talking. The LGBTQ kind of trigger. Well, James, I have two things if you hate a LGBTQ person. It's two. And I do have a third, and it's if you're both. So that's the secret sauce. You're religious, you're in the closet, or you're both.
Okay.
Those seem to be the three metrics. I mean, I have yet to find one, but I found many people in the closet, but not Emily or Amy. Woo! Woo! Sending love. And sending love to Davegar, who reminds us that the earth is round. She thick. She got that ass.
Damn it.
And she's relatively old in speaking how we speak, because the people who disagree with that number think that it's 6,000, 10,000 years.
6,000's old, Amy. 6,000's really old.
My God.
I'm not even 70. I feel old.
Ba-da-ba. Tip your waitress, though not your wife, because if you tip your wife, you make her fall over like Ken Hovind has done to many of his. He doesn't have a YouTube channel anymore.
It's for science.
It's for science. He's a gravity scientist. Exactly. But sending love to Davegar, sending love to Senator Cato, reminding us of separation of church and state. It's amazing. Rachel does amazing now. She'll come up to me and she'll go, it's amazing. She's like, it's like the guy. It's like the guy. James, why would you have a woman do a man's job? You wouldn't want a woman going down there.
And what? Why would they do that?
If you had a woman do that, that'd be gay. Anyway, it'd be horrible. Setting love to center the separation of church and state in between us talking about oral. It's great. No, because we don't want a theocracy. Autocracy, theocracy, we'll take our democracy. Anyway, Rachel Holen, the one, the only, the amazing. We are sending love to Rachel. She's reminding us that instead of, taking slaves from the nations around you, maybe you should just get more femboys and, just tie them to your bed. Feel like that's a better process. Consenting femboys. Oh, hair. There we go. I got it out. I hate it when that happens. Anyway. Sending love to Rachel. Sending love to James Wolfe. Woo! I saw James last night. We were releasing our slavery video, our anti-slavery. It's amazing that there even has to be an anti, because that would mean that there are a pro-slavery division of YouTube out there, or group set. Anyway, sending love to James Wolfe. We do lots of late night content. I'm going to cough.
He's almost always here to cheer us on.
That's right. And I like to imagine myself in a cheerleading outfit as I'm doing this. Wearing pink today. That basically counts. Anyway, Dale Pastel. Sending so much love to Dale. He's reminding us that we're looking for a little bit of empirical evidence. Doesn't have to look a lot. They also complain when we ask for empirical evidence. James, how dare we use science? This all-powerful God that is everywhere and has existed for all of time. It's not like he could show up like at Wendy's or here. That'd be cheating or something.
Why would he want to?
Exactly. He can't take time out of his busy schedule of being everywhere and having all of time. And that's what they always do. They always try and make it like he's like this guy that has like an agent. Like, why would he want to talk to you? Because he's God. And apparently one of like the criteria is believing. But besides that, sending love. And sending love to...
Amy, you do realize that God only did that for the Apostle Paul and for Moses. So why do you think you deserve the same type of personalized introduction as the Apostle Paul? I mean, who are you, Amy?
Exactly. We are basically the people who, thought that a man came back from the dead. Though Paul didn't really see, I am not convinced he saw Jesus, or he had an actual, like, he did seem to write a lot. He wrote half of the New Testament. You know who didn't write any of the New Testament?
Jesus.
Not a goddamn word.
Jesus didn't actually write anything for himself. Go figure, huh?
It's the
there were
little
other
things.
people that were around him who,
once again, very busy.
They didn't write it. Actually, decades later, random people wrote it, stories that they heard from other people, and we just know that it's true because it's true. You see. So therefore, it's true. And you're on mute. You double tap.
Good. Because I did a slurping sound from a drink, and then I'm like, I'm sorry you all had to hear that, but you didn't hear that. So anyway, last but not least of this shout outs here, sending love to Chris Disciple. He was giving us love. We're giving him love. He often not only gives us love back, he comes on. He's part of the Skeptic and Ranting community, because Christians, Muslims, Jews, it does not matter what your religious beliefs are. If you are a skeptic, you're part of the Skeptic and Ranting community. And then last but not least are the commander captains that we weren't sure if they were commander. Now we got them both now on the girl deck. We send love to Ian Davenport.
Thank
you so very much, Ian, reminding us that watchmaker arguments are silly because we love using our heart. It pumps blood. It comes naturally, and watches, they don't really have a male and female watch that have sex and then baby watches pop out. It's not really how that works. But sending love also to Regos, reminding us that we have a skeptic Bible study. That's right, we are knee-deep in Joshua, though Joshua was given a death sentence, just like Moses. All these guys, they're like told by God, like, you're getting a little old. Like, I've done everything you wanted. Can you give me like a vacation, like a day off?
Throw her a bone or something. Come on now.
You gotta be careful. He's gonna give you some quail.
Oh, well, hey.
James's favorite story.
Well, I mean, just because I got you out of Egypt, you expect me to feed you now too? Oh, you mean when you guys were in Egypt, you had food to eat. Now that I got you out of Egypt and there's nothing to eat, you think that's a problem for me? Okay, all right, all right. I'm sorry. I didn't think about that. I'm a god. I don't need to eat. Okay, I'm sorry, but are you guys? Would you like something to eat? Do you like some food? Well, I mean, I'm a god. I can make that happen. I can conjure up a banquet. There you go. Would you like some quail, Amy? Would you like some quail?
Oh, I'd love some quail.
Go ahead. Best quail you ever had. Oh, what's wrong, Amy? Did you
not crying now.
Quail? Was it cooked to your liking? Is the flavor profile not quite there for you? Aw, I'm so sorry.
It had this small side effect. Everyone vomited blood. It was, yeah. Besides that, it was great. But last but not least,
your last meal should be memorable, right?
That's true. It should go out with a bang. Last but not least, we're sending love to Matt Deig. Matt Deig reminds us that unlike religion, we have theories. That if you say the words, it's just a theory, you need to just take a science class. So thank you so very much, Matt Deig, reminding us that if you think the earth is young or flat, then you may need to go into the field and do research yourself.
you may have an intellect of something growing in a field.
$2 super chat, sending so much love. James Woods wrote no New Testament books either. I just think Paul made a religion. I just think he went out there. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to make myself... He was a Jew who wanted to expand, and it's just easier to get that out there. Now, there may have been a Jesus. I don't know. But James seems to be convinced that it wasn't. I am convinced that rabbis can sell you a lot of good stories, but I don't know. They misspelled. Oh no, sending so much love to the Sinister Porpoise. Thank you so very much for all the love and support. In fact, thank you to all of our super chatters, all of our Patreons, channel members, Twitch followers, to everyone out there. You guys and gals and everything in between, the lifeblood of the channel. And I am gonna get the StreamYard link up, but we're gonna move into my just very short opening statement, and then James may have one, and then we're going in. But let's transition into it. We are Midnight Ranting on Does Religion Do More Harm Than Good? Ba-dum-bum. Bum-bum. Alone in the log, there's a little cat dog. Wait, no, okay. Something a little different. Does religion do more harm than good? Yes. The harm that religion does far outweighs any double-edged good that sometimes comes with. For example, sure, it's great that religion gives people community. At least if you're in the in group. The moment your own personal theology mismatches with the leaders of said institutions, well, let's just say the outgroup isn't as much fun. What about the answers to life's hardest questions? Well, if we just say God every time, well then sure. Easy peasy. But God doesn't really answer anything. So instead, it just blocks us from searching for the real answer. How about death? Surely there's nothing wrong with thinking a loved one is in a better place, which is the mildest, gentlest scenario to happen when we remove our fear of death. Though the worst case scenario being those like the 9/11 hijackers who flew themselves into buildings, not because they thought they were doing evil, but because they deluded themselves into thinking they were doing good. So, does religion do more harm than good? Yes. And every positive aspect that comes from religion has a better alternative source. Thank you. And all right.
Thanks, Heavy.
We're gonna turn it over to James
Well.
W. Before we go into the open mic. Does religion do more harm than good?
Hey everybody, so I'm not feeling that great today, so I may not be very active tonight, but I'll try as long as my voice will hold up. But yeah, so this debate, this topic, we're specifically talking in reference to inspired by the T-Jump Armbar debate that they had at DebateCon last weekend on Modern Day Debate. So that's where we got the idea from. So we might make references to certain things that that we heard in that debate, and so while I think the point from the debate from T Jump was that religion may have certain good placebo effects. It might make some people feel better, which is true. We can't say that it doesn't. But is that effect, does that justify uh, the continued perpetuation of religion? Does that negate the negative effects that religion does have? And I think you all know that we feel that it doesn't. And here's the thing: we're anti-religion, but we're not for forced deconversion. We're not for people being forced not to believe or practice religion. That's not a good idea. It doesn't work. If you want to practice a religion, you have the freedom to do that. We're not going to stop you. We're not going to churches on Sunday morning and beating down the door and tell them all they're wasting their time and they're, uh, you know, talking to their imaginary sky daddy, even though it's true. But the religious, they evangelize, they promote their beliefs, they tell people why they believe and why they think other people should believe. We're just doing the opposite of that. But you have to come to us. You have to find us, and if you do that, you want to know what we think, we're going to tell you. And I feel like we have to treat these theists like adults. If they come to us and they tell us they want to know, and they want to know what we think, then we're going to tell them. And whether they like hearing it or not, if they don't like hearing it, they don't have to come. They don't have to listen. They can go somewhere else. But if they do, hey, that's what we're here for. But should we perpetuate religion? Should we? Well, probably in this debate, the most aggravating thing was that T-Jump said it would be okay to lie, that we should lie to people if it makes them feel better, and lie to people if it makes them more religious. And that, I think, is where we have to draw a clear line, that I don't think we should lie to people. I do think people can handle the truth. If you could make reference, not everybody. I think there are some people, and I've said this before. If you're happy practicing a religion, if you do it, you like it, you just love everything about it, and questioning it or losing that would be detrimental to you or your mental health or whatever, then what are you doing on a channel like this? Really, you have no business being here. Go do your thing, practice your religion, have your fun, and whatever. But to make that decision for people to decide that they can't handle the truth, I think smacks of elitism. I think it smacks of treating people like they're children, like they can't handle reality. I just don't think that's a positive, healthy way to approach things. And we as a species, as a people, as a race of people, are there certain aspects of religion that may be positive? Well, sure. Is that going to last though? You have to. Is it going to be able to go on indefinitely? Well, no, I don't think it will. I don't think it's sustainable. Religion is losing. It's losing ground. It's losing believers. It's losing everything on every ground, and that's because it's running out of things to offer people. It just doesn't offer people very much anymore. And So all that is going to go away eventually. What we're talking about doing is basically just ripping off that Band-Aid and dealing with reality in the here and now, not waiting hundreds of years or whatever for religion to naturally wither and die on its own, which it will doing and is doing, but we'd like to speed that up in a more, in a non-forceful way, just by helping to open people's eyes up the way our eyes were opened up. I think, me and Amy, we both used to believe. We don't believe anymore, but we used to believe. And so we're just taking some of the reasons we don't, putting those out there for other people to consider. And if they hear it, they reject it, they still want to believe that, they're free to do it. But in terms of ripping that Band-Aid off, yeah, that's just, in the words of the great Stone Cold Steve Austin, we need to get our ass serious, because if we're to go on as a species, as a race, clinging to these convenient, these sweet sounding lies, these myths from the past, no matter how nice they sound, do we really have time for that? There's going to be a time where humans are going to have to relocate to another celestial body if we want to remain a thing in the universe. And work for that is going to have to begin thousands of years ahead of time. Long before anybody is even ready to relocate, we're going to have to put a concerted effort for that. And if people just sit around and say, well, what is it going to benefit me to start doing all this? I'm going to be dead long before that. My great-grandchildren will be dead. Who cares? I'm just going to live my life. If that's the route that our descendants take, then we're doomed as a species and as a people. We're not going to go on. I don't think that's the route we're going to take. I tend to take a more optimistic view about humanity and our purpose. Well, not our purpose, but our path that we're going down. I do think we're going to be able to get serious and cross these hurdles. And it might not be easy all the time. It definitely isn't. As President Kennedy said, we choose to do these things not because they're easy, but because they're hard. But I guess for me, it comes down to the question of the cipher question from the Matrix. Like, if I could take a pill and go to sleep and then wake up in the morning and just forget about all this atheism and just go back to being a believer and having these not having any of these questions or doubts or lingering concerns about the faith, but get the positive aspects of it, the release of the fear of death, the not worrying about your lost loved ones, thinking you have a purpose, a true destiny, and all these other things. Would I want to do that? Would I take that pill and go back into the Matrix? And for me, the answer is no. I would still want to know, even though there are aspects of it that aren't nice, that aren't pleasant. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, but I would still choose reality over these very, very nice sounding delusions. And we've only made scientific advancements. We've only made productive steps forward as a species when we have been able to question, when we've been able to move past these convenient, nice, succinct explanations that we've been given by folks who peddle things like religion. Only when we've been able to move past that we've made advances and discoveries, and we've really been able to move ourselves forward. I think the future looks a lot like that. Us continuing to move forward, continuing to ask questions, continuing to not be satisfied with these Santa Claus-like explanations for why their presents under the tree. Oh, well, Santa Claus put them there. Well, when you're 5 years old and somebody tells you that, okay, it makes sense. But these white lies, like Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, that we tell small children, we all realize, though, parents realize, people realize that at some point that has to stop. Why is that? Well, why can't we just keep perpetuating the lies? Why can't we just keep coming up with more and more elaborate explanations for how Santa Claus actually does it? Or, you know, as kids start to get older, they start to learn new things, make connections. They start to see a lot of problems with the Santa Claus story. A lot of inconsistencies, a lot of things that just aren't adding up. And we realize we reach a point where you have to let it go, and you have to let them make those connections and stop reinforcing it. And then, yeah, a little bit of that magic of the world dies. Then they realize that this magic and this wonder that they had before that, it kind of dies. A little bit of that childhood innocence dies with that. And I think we all look back at that point in our childhood as a good time when we believed in things like that. We believed in magic. We believed that anything was possible. And yeah. But we realize that it's moving forward as adults, as rational people, we just can't hold on to those type of beliefs anymore. It's not healthy. And yeah, it's time to get over religion, time to get over the placebo effect. It's time to move forward. Not that all aspects of it are going to be good, but it's religion. It's not going to last. It's on its way out. The sooner we get to reality, the better. Thank you, guys. Hopefully everybody got some of that.
And all right, with that, we are about to move into the open mic. Thank you so very much, James. I have now, and I agree, we should not lie to anybody. I like Sam Harris's. I have Sam Harris has his book on lying called, very simply, Lying.
Well,
And
okay, I think most people, we don't really like to lie to people. We have that innate part of our conscience that we feel bad when we lie to people. That's an evolutionary given mechanism, because we don't like to be lied to. And when we find out people are lying to us, we tend not to trust what they say in the future, because they've proven that they will tell us things that aren't true. And distinguishing that between white lies and harmful lies, it really is a distinction without a difference, really. And this is not, of course, there are no moral absolutes. Lying is not absolutely wrong, because, once again, okay, yes, if the Germans are looking for the Jews or the gypsies in the attic, of course, yeah, you lie to them. Yeah, everybody agrees with. There's no absolute morality. It's not absolutely wrong, but in most situations, it is not good to lie to people.
Indeed. It is a house of cards that is easily collapsible. And we are about to bring on Beamsy and Scott already backstage. We are switched into the open mic, and the link to join is both in chat and up on stream. I'll even go streamyard.com/BDG9KMKRKH. There you go for those vocal listeners. But we are switching into it. We are talking, does religion do more harm than good? And we're bringing Beamsy on board.
Captain of the girl deck.
Woo! What is up,
Beamsy?
Welcome aboard. We're talking, does religion do more harm than good? And what are your thoughts?
The issue is that's too broad a statement, because you're landing all religions into one pot, and that denounce all the aspects of what different religions can do for people. As a whole, religions are beneficial for individuals, as well as they do have beneficial aspects. If you have an understanding of what you're following, you also have many aspects that are just benign and comforting. As for negative effects, there are very few negative effects if you actually look at a religion as a whole. But there are particular religions that have a grounding within reality that are more harmful than beneficial. So when you're actually saying, are religions harmful as a whole? No. As an individual, it depends on the individual religion and the individuals following them. Catholicism, Jason, that's one that is harmful because it's got its grounding in reality. Once it has a grounding in reality, you have to be able to express something that is real.
Match reality
and then,
to it.
yes. And therefore you start having cognitive dissonance. You start creating aspects of, oh, but it was through magic, or it was a miracle, or and you just have to keep coming up with excuses.
Right.
But
So
the aspect
I would
of
say there are
sorry.
manifestations of religion that are much more benign than others. Yeah, and I think, for example, your religious beliefs they're pretty benign. They really doesn't affect what you do in any meaningful way in the natural world. But I would say, like overall, like the overall state of the world, is it better with the religious matrix that we have today, or would it be better without it?
Again, in some cases, yes, some cases, no. Well, speaking from my personal religion, no, I don't think it would be beneficial to completely remove everything because there are historic aspects to it. There are also social aspects to it. And if you don't completely follow it, which no one does anymore because we realize that anything that has a reflection in reality has to actually be shown in reality. But the spiritual aspect of it is important to some individuals, and it can explain a few things, but not completely. As long as you can accept that maybe it's not true. Maybe every last part about it is fake, and it's just something that is more of a social aspect and a grounding aspect to things that we are unaware of, or in some cases, a comforting blanket.
I mean, yeah, that would be nice, but I think the entire concept of faith is you don't question it. You don't think that it could be not true. You know, most people, they'd say they don't just have a hunch or a feeling, or they don't just believe God is real. They know God is real. That no, I'd say, of course, nobody knows anything of the sort, but that's certainly not how they present it, right?
That's why when you look at some religions, when they refer to as faith, it is religious faith or blind faith. When you come along more to the pagan beliefs, we have faith in it in the same way that you have faith in your partner or you have faith in your pet. Yes, we're 90% sure that something might happen, but there's that 10%.
Right.
Okay, welcome on board, Beamsy. We're going to get Scott in, and then we're going to open conversation. Boom, boom, boom. Who? Scott, we're talking, does religion do more harm than good? Welcome on board, and what are your thoughts?
Man, I was just woohooing my brains out, then I realized I was muted. So woohoo, a little less energy, but still, I put in the work. James, how are you doing?
Woohoo!
I hope James is doing okay. He must have everything muted. And Amy, how are you doing? I hear y'all aren't going to be doing the Theist helpline tomorrow.
I think it's being pushed back to next week.
Okay. Well, cool. I like that particular show or particular
So we
stream.
can't say Fortnite anymore.
And I like it ever since you've come on because you really help.
Well, thank you.
Stir the conversation in helpful ways. So I've noticed that. So anyway, I'm going to come out. Yes, religion does more harm than good, although, like many others, throw in the caveat for individuals, even for families, because you're with a bunch of people that agree with you and you see them once a week, sometimes twice a week, it can have very positive results. But I've been doing a lot of thinking because I've generally like ever since I became an atheist have kept a laissez-faire attitude about religion, as long as you don't get caught up on the fact that it's not true in just about all cases, then you're going to be okay. Just don't get all fundamental and evangelical about it and try to force it on people and society. And so but when I was doing a study this week I was reading a critique of presuppositionalism by a theologian / apologist who has since passed on, but his name was R.C. Sproul. He brought out some of the finer points and some of the usual critiques you see about presuppositionalism. And it's the idea that a person who doesn't know Jesus Christ has something wrong with them in their brain. That's a little bit, that's like a real specific interpretation of the idea of being fallen, so that like you're darkened in your understanding, which is, I think, found in Ephesians 4 or Romans 1 or something like that, where you're darkened in your understanding and you're separated from God because you're ignorant and you just can't think logically, you can't think rationally. And that is the basis of presuppositional apologetics. That's the view that it takes of you and me and James and Beamsy and everybody else who is not a Christian, is that you just don't get it. You just can't get it. And a long time now, that was the position of like the I guess you call him the founding father of presuppositional apologetics, Cornelius Van Til. So along comes R.C. Sproul, and his counter argument isn't no, there's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with their brain. They just don't want to. They just don't want to know the truth. They just don't want to hear what God has for them. So in other words, both men, one was talking about our actual minds, our actual brains and how they worked, and the other one was talking about our actual psychology and our stubbornness and our hatred towards God and our unwillingness to be convinced by perfectly good arguments for God. And so you have these two camps, the evidentialist camp of apologetics and the presuppositionalist camp of apologetics, both saying you atheists are not right in the head for two slightly different reasons. It's either our will or it's either our brain function is messed up. And I thought, how is anybody going to win? How is anybody going to expect to have a rational conversation with somebody who believes that? And the thing is, I know the Catholics believe that to some degree about fallen people. I know evangelicals believe that for sure. I don't know much about liberals and what they think about the doctrine of sin and what it does to people who don't know God. So I can't really critique them, but that's a harmful position. Basically,
the Catholics have kind of moderated their views a lot over the past 60 years.
I'm sorry, you were kind of staticky there.
I said the Catholics have kind of moderated their views a lot. I think now the term they would use is like an invincible ignorance that they use that because of your background and the way you've been raised and taught, you're just not able to accept these truths, and that's not your fault to a certain degree. Which I mean, it is
so we're
completely
spiritually.
yeah.
we're spiritually retarded. And I hate to use the R
You're
word, but
invincibly ignorant. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they use that as a way to say that you might not be condemned because it's not really your fault that you can't understand it. You're just unable to come to accept these truths. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and at the best, that's a problem created by religion.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If I would never think that way about somebody who's religious, unless even if they had mental illness, it would be because of a cluster of factors, and the religiosity might be a symptom of it, or it might be a cause. But I would just never say, well, you're just a different kind of human being, and you'll never get it. You can never be right, so therefore we need to take over. There's that whole dominionist side of Christian theology, a lot of which is actually Catholic in nature, and then a lot of which is also evangelical in nature. And it all comes from the fact that we don't know shit because we ain't right in the head, and they need to take over. And so I see that as harmful. Catholic Church, we know, wants to take over the world because A, they did it before, and B, there's nothing that says they won't do it again or wouldn't want to. Like they're taking over the hospital industry in the rural United States and in the smaller markets. I just see religion as trying to push and take over, overpower people who don't believe like them because, quote unquote, their minds are spiritually darkened. And that's their starting point. That's the foundation on which they're building. So I just don't see how, even though from being socialized, from being supported in times of crisis, even from people, financially supporting you, when times are tough from time to time, I see those as positives, and we would have to be very intentional and very direct for that to happen as secularists. But I just see religion's total net as being negative. Also, remember, in the past, even among non-Christian, non-monotheistic religions, you would get the approval from a priest. You would get their quote unquote blessing to wage war on other nations. That was part of your legitimacy to act politically. And what do we have in our nation today? But orange number 46, was that the Great Pumpkin's presidency? Was he 46?
I believe he was 45.
45. Well, then he was holding up Bibles, listening to preachers, parading them out, also trying to get the veneer or the stamp of approval from religion to do all sorts of gosh awful darn things. So I just don't see things having changed that much. I think a lot of the push that has happened to improve religion has actually been from other greater societal changes that included a lot of secularists. So you can't claim the good things just on the religion, but that whole idea of us all being fucked up in the head because we don't believe, that's their thing. That's on Christianity in particular. Maybe this is more of a rant against Christianity. That may be a weakness of my argument here, but I'm gonna let it rest with that. And I would like to get some feedback from you guys.
That's okay. We like ranting, and the Abrahamic religions tend to, those holy books, they need a good updating. But We are going to move into the open conversation. I'll send it back out in there if anyone else would like to join us. Oh no, there's Peter. I see him back there. Though we'll keep on sending it in there. But we're gonna add Peter. Boo doo boo.
Damn it,
Peter.
Scott. Now I've got the song Mumbo Number 5, except instead of Mumbo Number 5, it's Gerudo 45.
Peter, we are Midnight Ranting on Does Religion Do More Harm Than Good? Welcome aboard, and what are your thoughts? I can't believe you would say something so brave and yet so true. Can the TOS even? We're probably gonna have to cut that out later.
I did, and this is why I was muted, because this was all not safe for work.
It's true.
So I wanted to elaborate on the previous speaker saying that wasn't a rant. I'm going to rant because it's midnight ranting.
That's
We
right.
need to rant. So first of all, I want to say I find it not very tasteful to impersonate people, and I would really like to say that Scott isn't really Santa Claus. He just looks a lot like him. Hey Scott, long time no see. How are you, buddy?
It's great to see you, Peter. How's everything up there in the Netherlands?
I had to do that. You look
right.
like the poster boy Santa Claus for people.
I look like Santa Claus, and they were telling me today, and even showing pictures, that I look like Charles Darwin. So either image is positive for me.
I mean, that would be a tough choice between those two.
Really
Well,
would.
haven't you heard the 3 stages of being a man?
Oh,
First, you believe in Santa Claus, then you pretend to be Santa Claus, and then you look like Santa Claus.
Oh, there you go.
Dun, dun, dun.
I just got it taken care of early.
and my problem is, as I get older, people start telling me that I look like Jesus, and that's not really a compliment for me. But okay, let's get to the topic. Does religion do more harm than good? Yeah, it does. Everything in religion is about harming people. It starts out by indoctrinating kids that if they don't believe in Jesus and if they don't do good, they will go to hell. I have spoken with several adults, some of which were older than me and are still struggling after leaving religion, after no longer being able to believe in a God, but still struggling with the concept of hell. And I can tell you that for those people, it's horrific. And it's going to be with them probably until the end of their lives. And so it starts out as child abuse, but it can pretty much ruin someone's entire life. They're no longer able to enjoy the things they would otherwise have enjoyed. Another thing, and Scott mentioned the Catholic Church. I consider the Catholic Church a criminal institution, a criminal organization, and I think they should be persecuted just for that, just because the relocation of the numerous sex abusers in that particular religion, which isn't just the Catholics. I've been, ever since they've been talking about how exposing children to drag queens is harmful. I think 2 or 3 times a week I post a tweet with some religious person, whether it be a youth pastor, a preacher, a pastor, a priest, doesn't matter, being accused of child abuse. These people are projecting. They want to deflect from the serious issues that we see within religion. Another thing is a thing that I watched recently that I wasn't aware of. This was an anniversary of a horrible car crash in Australia where 4 police officers died almost instantly. The reason for that was that the truck driver wasn't feeling well, had gone on a drug binge for a week, and had told his boss that he wasn't fit to drive. His boss is the church leader in the Potter House Christian Church, which is a church that originated in the US and now has churches in Australia as well. These people think that sickness is demon possession. So the church leader was the guy who had who owned the trucks that the guy was driving in, and he basically said a prayer over him and told him that he was now good to drive. 45 minutes later, 4 people were dead. This is stuff like this just makes me screaming mad, and there's no way you could see that without religion. These people need to be stopped immediately, and I'm not even touching on the prosperity gospel people, because I don't want to. That was my rant.
Woohoo! Thank you so very much, Peter. Welcome on board. And that is right. This is a place to rant. And with that, we are now or about to be going into the open conversation, because I want to do a open conversation is sponsored by Ian Davenport, who is sending us a $5 super sticker saying, "How's it going?" Pretty good, Ian, and I hope it's going pretty good for you over there. And that's right. With that, we're sending you all the love and support that you are sending us. We're moving into the open conversation. We are Midnight Ranting. Does religion do more harm than good?
May I comment on Peter's statement?
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. One thing too, there of course the moving around of priests who had abused children, but there was also, and I can't remember the kind of the official name for this practice, but it's taking indigenous peoples, stripping them of all of their culture and taking them away from their parents, putting them in boarding schools, and then just disappearing their culture. And that's a horrible thing. And that definitely is was a movement spearheaded by religion and supported by government. Once again, where the activities of politics is given the cover of decency by religion, which is unforgivable. And of course, there was all sorts of abuse and cover-ups in the way those children were treated.
Mm-hmm. Another thing, the Catholic Church was heavily involved in.
But it just, cultural genocide, and it just seems like that kind of stuff just happens with Christianity. But I don't know what's happened under like institutional Buddhism or Hinduism or Islam. A lot. I'm aware of more, but it's just like maybe we can come up with a way to support people socially.
All 3 of these Abrahamic ones, for whatever reason, they. I'm not a big fan of the notion of chosen people. I'm not a big fan of the way that Christians think of this apocalyptic type of in-group or out-group, which once again becomes a chosen people. I'm not a fan of this Arabic nationalism that happens within Islam, where they do kind of a same type of colonial stuff that we do, but in a different flavor. All of them have this, I don't know, trying to take over other people's thoughts and minds.
I have my thoughts about that.
Oh, sure.
I think you are definitely one of the because if we're talking about chosen people, then we have to be talking about YouTube content creators because people choose to watch them. So they must be the chosen ones.
Oh, well, I don't know. I will say it's really about being chosen by a god. Because if you,
Oh,
me,
God watches my
if
channel.
any of
I'm
us,
sure.
yes, but if
And you had Jesus in the side chat, so Jesus is watching yours.
that's true.
We're fine.
I'm pretty sure I had Allah. I've talked to them in Discord today, but at least that's what they tell me.
We had Brett Keane. That's as close as we're going to get.
And ladies and gentlemen, everything in between, please look forward to tomorrow's stream where we are going again. We have a direct conversation about, epistemology is what's going to be talked about. But
manatee roast. Good old-fashioned manatee roast.
I'm still sending love to Brett. Though in his video, he did very specifically, he was like, I didn't think that, they watch any of my videos. And I feel like I steel man everyone that I get the chance of, because when we steel man religion, oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes they are so ridiculous. Like, we have to talk about a talking snake.
It's still ridiculous.
And we have to talk about a planet that is, if it's 6,000 to 10,000 years, then scientists are 99% wrong. That is a very far high ratio. Also, sending love, Reservoir Guar. That is right. We are the Pink Ranters tonight. Ooh.
The biggest problem with what's being said is, again, these are all being directed at the Abrahamic religions, which, again, I stated are disgusting is the nicest way I can put it. But it doesn't cover all religions. And there are far more religions than just the Abrahamic religions. And that's why, as a whole, religions are either mostly benign, and some of them create a lot more good than harm.
Well, the thing is, I don't know enough about them to say whether they're benign or not. Like, I know there's been like sectarian violence in Buddhism. In Hinduism, I don't know how much of what goes on between people in their country is due to the Hindu influences. So for that, I just don't know. And if you've studied it and have come to a conclusion they're benign, I can only listen to you and take your input and then continue to try to find out.
It's also because the religion we have to deal with most is Christianity, at least in the Western world. And one thing I left out is an abhorrent thing that was made public last week. This happened in France, where a Christian church told their followers that they all were demon possessed, and the only way to cure them was to stop eating. I think they've recovered about 105 bodies on church property now, mostly kids who have died from starvation because of this weird interpretation of what sickness. I think because those are the things we get confronted with. That is why we tend to address Christianity more than any other religion. But I fully agree with you, Beamsy. It's not just Christianity. It's not even the Abrahamic religions. It is. There are more religions. We've seen the what was the name of the cult? I forgot it. The cult that thought that there was an asteroid coming with a spaceship on it, and they would be taken to the spaceship, so they all killed themselves. It's not just the Abrahamic religion. It is all religion.
Heaven's Gate.
Big Heaven's Gate. That was it. Yeah. The biggest problem with religion is that they stop people from thinking critically. They are all indoctrinated to follow the guy in the pulpit, the guy heading the religion, whatever you want to call it, and stop thinking and just believe them. And that is what they will do in their entire life. They will just appeal to an authority, and they can be made to do pretty much everything. If Scott mentioned Trump, if you look at what is surrounding Trump, that is almost religious. The whole QAnon thing is almost religious, and we saw what it made people do, and still does. Today I saw an interview with a guy who's convinced that Biden is played by James Woods with a rubber mask on his head, because they've executed Biden the moment that he won, quote unquote, won the election, because Trump still won, and Trump is running a shadow government at this moment, and so they're making Biden do things in order to make the Democrats look bad. I've never seen as much nonsense as this put into a 9-minute video. I think it was about 9 minutes. It's horrific, and all of that comes from people who are trained to not think for themselves, but just believe as they are told.
I'm sorry,
And
Peter.
that
Masad
covers
is
every
telling
religion.
me we have to shut this stream down. I'm being told.
Who?
Masad.
Masad?
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I hate to do this to you.
yeah.
It's coming from Soros himself.
The space lizards have called.
Space lizards have called. I hate to do this.
Those are
to
the
you.
people behind the rubber mask Bidens.
Yes.
There are more than one,
sorry.
by the way. It's not just James Woods. There are more.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's not just James Wood. It's James Woods.
Yeah, Woods.
There's many Woods.
Yeah.
I went with an S joke. Anyway.
James's
we
Wood is something else, right?
Yeah, well, giving James Wood is another something.
Yeah.
The problem where you can see with that, it's not just religions that create that insular condition. You do find other people who actually have the inability to understand or learn because they've never been put in a position to be allowed to do so, and it's not just religious space. Sometimes there are just a societal aspect to it, like their family decided that they wanted to go and rough it in the woods. By saying that it's exclusively a religious thing is slightly inaccurate. It's what's coming is just lack of proper education would be the better way of putting it, and creating massive echo chambers.
Yes, but the example you just gave, why would people decide to rough it out in the woods? Because that probably has a reason also.
I could name 5 off the top of my head.
Okay. And
one would be a religious aspect, one would be a societal aspect, one would be because they want to be naturalists, they still have the aspect of the neo-pagans, and then you've got the people who just want to go back to a simple way of living.
You also have girls who just want to have fun. Just throwing that in there. Continue.
As someone who has chosen to rough it out in the woods, my decision wasn't religious. It was just I like being by myself. Well, with the 2 people that I live with, obviously, but not having anyone else around. Nice. People aren't that much fun these days. Better to I can understand people who do it like that, but yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that everything that I accuse religious people of doesn't exist in a secular world, because it does. The bad thing is the support that bad people get if they act that way in a religion, that makes it more harmful. The fact that rapists can be excused if the church chooses to because they found God, that murderers can be redeemed, like the Jeffrey Dahmer, who's now hailed as a Christian who goes to heaven because he accepted Christ the very last minute. I find that abhorrent.
And apparently, he's better than we are. We were told that last time, that he's a better man than we'll ever be.
Which is crazy.
And he got
That's
convinced
why-
by Kent Hovind. I think that should tell you everything
Yeah.
you need to know.
Yeah.
What's
Yes.
up, Pat?
That's
So
why
we're burning in hell forever. We can look up and Jeffrey Dahmer will be there, caressed by Jesus.
And
Oh,
and
my.
Pat, yes, that is what the guy just said. You're 100% right.
this is why I said quite clearly that any sort of religious based aspect that has a grounding in reality will always be harmful, because you have to make excuses. Once you start making excuses, then where does it stop? Anything that is just exclusively a spiritual aspect, they are usually the non-harmful or the benign.
It's well,
That's like it's when do
the
we
thing
stop
is- the thing
lying?
is
When
that-
do the lies stop?
yeah, the thing is, the topic: does religion do more harm than good? So it's great that we're now listing things that happen outside of religion, but the things that were listed so far happen because of religion.
A lot of the things are extenuated by a religion, not necessarily because of religion. Religion has the opportunity of more power. Then with more power, you get more misuse of the power. That's just human nature.
Mhm.
So as for, is it a religious fault that people are scumbags? No, there are always going to be scumbags. Doesn't matter where you go or where you look, but it does stem down to only religion can a good man do a bad thing.
Yes, the religion gives them an excuse to be a scumbag.
Also,
which is what
Night
doesn't
Scott,
happen.
you're amazing.
Night Scott.
Good night, Scott.
Religion does make it worse. That's why
Yes.
it doesn't necessarily make it a bad thing overall, because it will always happen. There'll always be that individual that just either has no concept of the social or no care of the social aspects of society.
My problem with the religion is that I can't name a single thing that is good about religion. Not even the fact that they might be helping out people in need within their congregation, because it comes with a caveat. If you're not part of the church, if you're not praying with us, if you're not doing our religious stuff with us, we don't help you. To me, that's the problem.
Again, that's only a few different religions, but they do it. And one aspect is definitely the societal aspect. We as a social species need that societal aspect, and that's why I saw that Atheism Plus and stuff like that failed, because they just wanted to tear down religion and not replace it with anything that allowed for a community.
But we already have that. That's to me, that's the mind-boggling thing when I see especially people from the US talking about this. In Europe, the societal aspect and the communion, that is usually on things that people like to do. It's surrounding by sports, it's surrounded by science, by pretty much every aspect of life other than religion, and people can find community there. So you don't need a replacement for the community aspect that a church provides, because
You need a
already
recognition
have
of
that.
the community aspect, because a lot of people don't recognize that they are already in a community. People don't realize that we are one community on one planet. They don't think about it that way. They think about what
That's
can
a
community
problem too.
It's the recognition of the community that is the problem.
And so last night I had a guest on my channel, a Christian, and Amy would probably know who it is. It was Sama. Oh, I have to cheat and go look. Zammer. Do you remember Zammer, Amy,
Yes,
from the
I
last
understand
show?
her.
Yes. So we didn't have much of a talk on our theist helpline with Zammer at the time, but I was really curious about what he was thinking, so I invited him onto my channel. And so if people want to see that conversation, they can go look. The good thing, and this is why I have these kinds of conversations, is after the show, he stuck around for another hour and a half, just hanging out and chatting with me and Artemis. And so the goal of the conversations that I have on my channel is to try and make people realize that we've got one Earth and we need to share it, and we need to get along with each other, whether or not we believe the same thing, whether or not we think there is a God. We need to get along. I don't have a problem with people believing in a God. I don't have a problem with people going to a church, as long as they don't try and impose it on other people. And Zammer was one of those guys, and he just liked hanging out with us after the show. And I had a great time after the show. And I wish that I could have recorded it, because I usually tell people it's not going to be recorded. But the entire conversation after the show was, I think, as good as the part that we had on air.
Who is that
And
with?
so a guy called Zammer, he was on the stage in the theist helpline 2 weeks ago. He had, and I still don't understand it, and I'm going to try and help him, because I don't think he can even outline his position well enough for other people to understand. But he had this thing about, once you are conceived, you are known, and this somehow is.
Oh, yes, I very much remember him now.
Yes. And he's a great guy. One of the things that I did when I talked to him is I told him to subscribe to a certain channel called Amy Newman, and to come on there every once in a while. And so he's promised to have a look. So, because I think he would be a great guest on shows
I agree.
on here as well. Because he's a really nice guy, and he might be misguided. He might be onto something that we don't know about, because, as I said, I still don't understand where he was coming from with that particular statement.
I could conceive of that conversation.
Yes, but he's just a great guy to talk to, and he was really interested in what we do on YouTube, why we do it. I mean, Michael Smith, yes, and the accent is not Swedish nor Norwegian. A little bit further south, Dutch. But I don't have an accent. I'm like Peaky Blinder. We don't have accent.
It's true. James and I have accents, very thick accents.
Very, very thick.
And the Germans have a very thick accent, like Schwarzenegger.
9.
The problem with that show, Peter, was you and Zimmer were having the conversation. Artemis was just being an idiot.
No, I don't think so. Well, so here's the thing, and we talked about that after the show too. Artemis has a way of talking to people, and when he is talking to someone, it's like someone playing chess. He has he has questions in mind that lead to an answer that he wants to hear that he would otherwise not get. And I get in the way of Artemis a lot of the time. But Artemis and I, we're very close friends. So 9 out of 10 times, Artemis will take the piss out of me on the show, and I will do that to him. So no, I don't think a lot of people may not understand Artie's humor. I do. I have to say, Zammer had a bit of a problem with that as well, which is another thing why it's so great that he stuck around after the show, because we got to talk about that, and he was much more understanding, and finally kind of grateful that he was considered a friend the moment he left. So yeah, I don't think so. It's as I said, Artie might be an acquired taste when it comes to a sense of humor, but he's one of the good guys. I promise.
I was just giving him grief over the fact that he deep throated the giraffe.
My.
Yeah. So you saw that on Twitter, did you?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot worse. I haven't posted everything yet, but yeah.
I know there's worse. I've seen him do
giraffe. The giraffe, by the way, is Carl. He has a name. Carl is in every video that Artemis is in because he's always in the background and usually to pick up clues because he will wear different ties, and those ties will hint to things that happened recently. So Artemis is like that.
So he choked on
Yeah.
Carl.
Well, so
Who does
if you're on Twitter, watch Artie's banner on Twitter. He was reenacting a picture that he had taken of his 2 dogs who did exactly the same thing. But no one gets it. If you're not following him on Twitter and you haven't seen him post that picture, then you wouldn't know what he was about when he deep throated. Yeah.
Yeah, but back to the topic, the idea of the question, it's just too broad a question. It probably would have actually been far better to specialize it to saying the Abrahamic gods, or sorry, the Abrahamic religions do far more harm than good.
Yes. And
That I can
as
definitely agree with.
for the question, Amy, Beamsy has a point, because does religion do more harm than good got us to deep throating a giraffe? I mean,
In fairness, is there many subjects that don't get you to deep throating a giraffe? I mean, come on.
Yes.
Well, with that tongue action, you don't want to go too far.
Oh my.
I'm just not a very big fan of broad questions because they're very difficult to answer.
True.
I hadn't
What
checked
happened?
Discord yet. I hadn't checked Discord yet, James. Oh
my.
You may
Are the
you,
pictures
you
as
may,
hot as I want them to be?
you may or may not have started something here.
Some memes. Oh boy.
Yes. Yeah. You said don't get any ideas. I'm having several at the moment.
Are you?
I won't spoil it. I'll come back on the show and share it with everyone the ideas you just gave me.
The amount of accounts that he's about to have.
I mean, the accounts, it's just fun. I fucked with Ember. Ember did a show on Harry Potter.
Internet memes.
And the moment someone in the video that he was reviewing said Harry Potter, his video was taken down.
Really?
So I made, yeah, so I was in the chat as Harry Potter and as Voldemort messing with Ember. He immediately knew it was me, though. I just probably something that I won't be able to lose anytime soon. But yeah. I need a bigger sock drawer, Amy, right now.
Oh my, don't we all? Also, Jason Jacoby, that's also, I want you to know that's in everyone's brain.
Matt Powell in a bikini on a Clydesdale. So funny enough, on the channel that Artie and I have, where Carl is our profile picture, the banner of that channel is Mohammed without a bikini on a Clydesdale, going to the moon. So
Well,
I'm at least close.
Well, we all know that Matt was down with Kent, so we both know he does a bareback.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we can't say they have slept together. We just don't know.
How about snuggled? Can we like compromise?
What? This is a take on Mr. Pumpkin Man that Jimmy Snow did with one of the.
It's Dorito 45.
No. The Pumpkin Man is so you have the Baptist church, and then you have the really bad ones, and I forgot what those were called. Very fundamentalist Baptist church who advocates for killing gay people and stuff like that.
Where's Pro?
And again,
where's Pro Baptist Church?
No. It's not just one church. It's an entire denomination within Christianity at the moment. Several churches.
Westboro is a denomination. It's not just one church.
No. But that's not what I'm going after. This was a leader of the Independent Fundamental Baptist. That was it. And so this guy made some comments about Jim. No.
It's not them. Okay, just making sure it's not the leader of the guy.
I'll have to look it up. I'm pretty sure I can find the link because Jimmy Snow made a website about it.
Hey James, did you like the picture I sent in the chat?
Let me look at it.
I like the picture you sent in chat, which is of a giant colon monster.
What am I looking at here, Beamsy?
As I told you, it's a picture of Trump.
I can't make it out, but okay.
It's also me after eating too much spicy food.
Yeah.
But I will say we're probably going to be going.
Colon, yeah.
We have about another 30-40 minutes of open mic, but yet I say we have Beamsy's kind of defending the no position, but we still haven't had any creationists though come on, and so I'm going to keep on trying to master bait debate right on here. Midnight Ranting on Does Religion Do More Harm Than Good? We are having fun in the sun. Hody, hody, ho. I will say we always have to. Oh no, you're about to say something.
Yeah, I sent Jimmy a message. He needs to help me out. He's got a website with and you Amy, you will appreciate the website because the website is basically about whether or not this particular religious leader has sex with pumpkins. We don't know.
I'm sorry, what?
People were asked to make pictures and send them in, and they were all put on a website, which is basically this guy's name.com.
Peter, please. Who doesn't eventually have sexual relationships with a pumpkin? I feel like that's every coming of age story, right? Probably.
I could tell you about my experiences, but I signed
it's very personal. It's like a bar mitzvah.
A non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I
James,
signed a non-disclosure agreement. I am not allowed to talk
Damn.
about that anymore.
That makes sense, though. The pumpkin gets to you. Gets right to you.
and James, that picture is actually the colon of a man called J.W. He died in the late 1800s, and that is his colon, 8 feet by 26 inches round.
How did that happen?
What was it? It was congenital agnolic megacolon.
Oh, wow.
Just sharing that for the world, Beamsy. Just gotta, give context.
It didn't actually explode. He died of an aneurysm while trying to pass stool, and there was about 40 pounds in it when he
Like
died.
Elvis?
Worse than Elvis, but yeah. It's the fact being that it had 40 pounds of stool in there, and trying to pass that through someone's normal sphincter, he ended up having an aneurysm.
What we're trying to say is we are sponsored by Chipotle. Chipotle. Try some today.
I'm having weird images now because I know a YouTuber who's called Stool. And having some 40 pounds of stool, I think that's a bit too much, but
It's the correct term to use.
it is, but yeah.
Listen, we are an educational podcast. We
If
have
you
high
have 40
standards.
40 pounds of stool in you, I don't think stool's that big.
Well, if you look at the last of the last link I put, it goes through his medical history and how he got the name Balloon Man.
Don't you get the ads on YouTube like every other day? You have 20 pounds of toxic stool rotting in your gut. Buy these magic pills that'll colon cleanse pills.
I get them now.
Yeah. If not, you will.
I was gonna say I didn't, but I'm about to. Once again, also this podcast also sponsored by KFC. KFC, try some today.
That, and I just want to remind everybody, no, you can't get $1,400 on a month on a fucking health card from Joe Biden. No, you can't.
Okay, so I found what half of what I was looking for. It is the New Independent Fundamental Baptists, the NIFB. Some of the more famous
That
ones are
almost
Stephen
sounds like a bowel movement disorder in and of itself.
Steve Anderson is there. I wish I could. Why don't they? I'm going to find this. If Jimmy doesn't reply, I'm going to find it.
Sending love. Is it Jimmy Snow?
No,
Sending...
no. Jimmy Snow made the website, so you can send love to him for making the website.
Indeed, sending love to Jimmy and the line and everyone over there. And
I think I got it. Yes. Wait, why is there nothing on the website anymore? Oh, there is. I am putting a link. Copy. I'm putting a link in the live chat right now. It is Tommy McMurtry. It is Tommy McMurtry, and please enjoy all the artwork that people made when he accused Jimmy of being a pumpkin man, which was just because he made a response video to him around Halloween. He had pumpkins. But Amy, this is for you at least a week of fun going through the pictures.
oh, I mean, I feel like I'm not going to have to go on Pornhub this week. So this is fantastic.
Oh no, this'll be enough. So it's TommyMcMurtry.com. Jimmy Snow registered it, and it says nothing to do with Tommy McMurtry because we don't know if he has sex with pumpkins.
Nothing to do with Liberty Baptist Church or Tommy McMurtry.
No.
On every single one of them.
I mean, the artwork is brilliant. You have to say this is. I think thousands of people send in artwork for that one. So, and it's an ongoing thing. You can still, if you think you can make some nice, not safe for work artwork, including a pumpkin, it's probably going to be posted.
I'm enjoying it.
I'm not saying Tommy McMurtry is sexually attracted to pumpkins. I'm just saying we don't know.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. That was exactly the sentence that I think most YouTubers said it once in one of their videos, and then gave the email address to send in the pictures.
That one.
Yeah.
Feel like we've created a new fetish somehow. I'm a little bit scared and yet a little bit tingling somewhere all at the same time.
It's called scarousal.
You had that very much the back of your head very fast. I think I'm going to appreciate that as much as I should.
I'm scaroused about this.
I am too.
And we're back to the question. So now, since we've got all this not safe for work stuff, I'm slowly changing my position that religion can do more good because of the topics that have been coming just from this question.
You found good use in religion through pumpkin sex.
Yes. I mean,
thank you, Jesus.
Yeah. Okay, but I have to drop off soon because I was working on stuff and I just took on a client a few minutes before you went live, Amy. So I need to get back to work.
Okay, Peter.
Good night, Peter.
Well, we're sending you love, and I will see you next week on Randar Stream. And in between all of the random fights that we will continue to get in on Theus throughout the interwebs. Woo!
And if you, I'm going to try and set it up. It's going to be have to fast forward it because we were going to have a guest on an ex-Muslim who can't do. Well, Mubarak can't do this week, so I'm postponing that to next week, Thursday or Friday. I'm hopefully having Nathan back. I think you've seen him
Not
in the
Nathan
debate
Thomas.
with in the debate with Mark, the flat Earth debate.
Gotcha.
There was another Nathan, and he's been on my channel before, so we're gonna have him back. People can't wait till next Sunday. Maybe check us out.
Nathan
Shameless
just, I
plug.
think, needs a good conversation to get some of that nonsense out of his head.
Yeah, you mean the Nathan that I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I think he's a really nice guy.
I think he's a good I think he's a good and earnest person that actually honestly believes what he's saying. It's just that he is not in a position to think critically about what he's expressing. And that's what I think he needs a conversation about.
And he gets his science from the wrong persons without checking whether or not that science is accurate. But I've told him I'm not going to entertain flat Earth on my channel. That's something that I just won't do. He had applied for Arnra's evolution challenge, but Arn said I'm going to take him on the moment he drops the flat Earth, because otherwise I'm not going to entertain him, because I don't think, and Arn has a point there, because people who deny reality to where they no longer believe that the Earth is a planet, then you've got a problem. And so I'm hoping that I can at least convince him at some point of checking the math on that, because I think he would do great in an email exchange with Arn about evolution. I'm really curious because he's not stupid.
The problem is to rattle him free of his flat Earth understandings. You would have to go for the way he understands and how he looks at facts. From
Yes.
there, it would also destroy any aspect he has of that evolution does not happen.
I'm hoping it would, but as I said, I think he's a nice guy to talk to, and I enjoy talking to him as long as we don't have to talk about the shape of the Earth. I love talking to him. So yeah, if he's okay, I'm going to have him on next Thursday or Friday.
When I'm not busy, I'm actually trying to get onto modern day debate for against Wits That Gets It to see how he goes against someone like me.
Woo-hoo, that'd be fun.
Yeah, that's probably something I won't see, because I, along with a lot of YouTube creators, no longer watch him.
He's a joke. There's no doubt about that. Considering how often he's been arrested and how often he's been shown to be wrong, he is just the master at word salad. But I can pick apart his word salad on the fly because I have an incredibly good memory, and I'm able to know a lot of the stuff that he says is just absolute garbage.
Who's this?
Can I ask you a question about that, Beamsy?
Yeah, but James is Wits That Gets It, and what was your question, Peter?
Why not do it on Amy's channel? I get it that you would get a lot more views when you do it on Modern Day Debate, but if you do it on Amy's channel, because Amy has her Debate Me Bra series, it would get Amy more views, and it might get Amy more subscribers, to hopefully to a point where she can have as much subscribers as MDD does.
I actually Amy... don't care where it's done. What it matters is I'm just currently very busy with doing some stratigraphy work, and that's why I haven't had the time to really do that sort of stuff.
I just everyone who wants to go on Modern Day Debate, go on Amy Newman's channel instead.
If Amy wants to organize it, I can give some time for it, but it's just a matter
gotta
of
figure out how to get Witsit on here. But I'm sending love to Modern Day Debate as well. But I'm sending love also. We can bring. We're looking forward. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, the creation is pretty hard.
Yeah. I just want to shamelessly plug Amy Newman in a non-sexual.
Ooh, thank you so very much. You could also plug me in a sexual way, but I will also take that. But I want to bring on in Tsunami and Sumami. She has it. Can I tell you? This is, and I wasn't gonna say it. She has it hubcapped, so I say it correctly. I had an ex whose name's Tsunami. She's an amazing human being. Wherever she is out there, I'm sending love to Tsunami, but we're bringing on Sumami.
I can't go. Now I can't go because she's one of my favorite people inside chat on pretty much everything I do. So now I feel compelled to stay on just for a few more minutes.
And I feel compelled to bring her on because Sumami, we are Midnight Ranting on Does Religion Do More Harm Than Good? Lovely to have you on. And what are your thoughts?
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Why, yes, we can. Hi.
Okay. I think that any type of religion, whether it's a major organized religion or paganism or even small offshoot groups that are kind of more isolated communities, I don't think it's beneficial ever in any scenario. And I think it's always going to be used as a tool to, control people and indoctrinate them and no matter what situation it is, it's always going to be used to oppress and exploit.
I agree.
I couldn't agree more.
Or it could lead to that very easily. It's a slippery slope.
And I think in a lot of cases, people will, even when they don't truly believe, will cling to it because they need a sense of community. And I don't think it's beneficial even in that sense, because you're not really connecting to people. If anything, it kind of facilitates people breaking off into these little isolated groups where they refuse to see anybody else's viewpoint. They refuse to see anybody else's worldview as a whole. And people get very prejudiced and very it's not, it may serve, I don't know, a temporary form of community, like just with that little isolated group, but then you're just blocked off in an echo chamber and you're open to being indoctrinated and having your
Devolves
mind
into tribalism
polluted.
and in-group, out-group type of dynamic.
Yep. All of that.
Yeah.
All of that. Well, I wanted to stick around a little bit because you came on, Mommy. I really want to thank you for all the support you give to the channels where I make my own hit, and I just love having a woman in that. They're probably my favorite. You kick ass.
Thank you.
Only when she
Well,
misses
we
what
don't-
she was
we-
aiming for.
What?
Nothing.
She hasn't missed when I was there. I mean, no.
Oh my.
Oh. Oh, she's accurate. And scary to a lot of people. But
Yeah,
that's
sometimes I get a
the
little.
part that I find funny, that you scare people.
No,
Mm.
sometimes I get a little too out of control and I need to behave myself. I'm behaving tonight, though.
I may have missed that too. I haven't seen you get out of control. It's gotten increasingly funny, but no, not out of control. And I know that a lot of content creators think alike when they see you in chat. You're good.
I only get a little too much on Discord. Some of those Discord channels, they're toxic, and then it makes me get toxic.
Yeah,
Well,
I know that feel. You have to. It's hard to try and continue to be nice when they're so mean sometimes.
Well, you have that ability. Not all of us have that ability. If you recall what I alluded to earlier, my conversation with Zammer, there was a part of the panel that I thought was kind of toxic at the time, and then I get out. I mean, it has happened.
Also, welcome.
I wish
my brother had kidney stones, so
I wish I had your patience, Amy. I still need to learn from you.
Well, thank you.
yeah, I don't know
when it
how
comes
you
to
do
things
it,
like
Amy.
that. Yeah, what do you do after the show? Do you demolish your neighbor's car or go out and hit a cop? What do you do to let
Probably
off
demolish Oreos, but that's a very different.
You have to. Don't you have to let off steam sometimes?
Sure.
Because the shit you get to have to deal with.
But you have to understand that I have a very separate filter that has become very directly when there's certain type of insults that they would probably hurt me if they came from someone who was under the armor or whatever, but they're just there's such low-hanging fruit. They're the things that you expect that they make me laugh because they have nothing to do with the topic. And so they're basically you cannot stay on topic about why Jesus came back from the dead. By the way, you'll never be and I'm like, yeah, okay. But Jesus will never really come back, will he? A lot of people will say Jesus never even existed.
No, he did. He was in chat. He was in chat. I saw him.
That's true.
I can probably get him back in chat whenever I want.
No, Tim's right. To be fair, we rarely stay on topic either.
Yeah, for you to hurt my feelings, I need to respect your feelings.
Exactly.
Still,
or at least respect their opinions on these topics.
Mm.
We see Reid backstage, and so we're gonna bring her on in a second. And I will say this will probably be last call for the panel. We're still going to have like another 20 minutes, but creationists, especially if you want to prove us wrong, this will be the time to do so. I'm gonna give like another year because I am so do.
Hey,
Oh,
20 minutes.
I should have given like
Bree.
30 more seconds. Bree, we're sending so much love. We are Midnight
Bree.
Ranting on Does Religion Do More Harm Than Good? I was loving your stream earlier today, but what are your thoughts about the subject or anything we're talking about?
You know, religion is it's a funny thing because it can have as much or as little impact into your life and how you engage with others in your world around you as you like. You don't have to adhere in most cases to any strict guidelines. The problem is when other people are trying to enforce their religion or push their religions onto other people or onto a society that other people are trying to live in, right? So religion can be just fine on an individual level, on a family level or familial level. Once you start getting too much beyond that, you start worrying about pushing your beliefs onto other people, having other people push their beliefs onto you, who's going to be exposed to what. It really just becomes more trouble than it's worth beyond that scope, I think. Now, as far as absolute harm that it can do, it can absolutely, definitely be used to do harm, right? You can look at the history books of all the wars that have been fought, the names of this religion or that religion, individual harm as well. Things like you want to look at the situation with the Duggars, with what happened in their cult-like mentality of big family and not handling those types of things through the proper channels. And you'll see that a lot with the Catholic Church as well, with the way that they relocated their bishops and priests after they had been caught doing horrendous things to their parishioners. The list goes on of horrible things that can and do spring forth from religion, but are those things inherited directly from religion? I don't know if I'd go that far to say, but if you're going to be personally religious, I'm not going to hold it against you. It's when you start trying to use that religious authority to influence others or to impact my world that we have a problem.
Thank you so very much, Ray.
Yep, that was my rant. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Thanks, Bree.
And that's
Always good to
okay.
have a
We're
TED
here
Talk.
to rant.
Yes, that's what
I had a moment the other day where I was listening to a TED Talk and I made the joke in my head. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, oh, no, I am watching a TED Talk. I should be ranting. Gotcha.
Yeah, it makes sense in this context, right?
Makes complete sense. They should be talking like they're in a TED
I have
Talk.
never seen Tsunami on a live stream before. That's actually why I came in here.
Me either.
I don't know how you pulled it off, but oh my God, she's like one of the most gorgeous women
We've
on this
had a few of
planet. I
those
love her so
interviews.
much.
He's been here before, right? I
Yeah.
might be mistaken, but Mommy has been here before.
And I see Tsunami not only
Not with me.
in our
So now you're jealous. Bree.
when we had, I think, an impromptu debate when we go in Discord, because she is kind of like my Discord B, because it's hard to get, like, you have to have a thick skin in that Discord because of how toxic that they are. However, that is the beauty of their toxicity is half of them. I mean, half of them are in the goddamn closet. Like, just one after the other is...
I just get sick of that's. I want to debate other topics too, other than my junk. Please, can we talk about something else besides my junk?
And that is the other problem where you walk in there and you say like "Good morning," and it's just waves of like.
Do you mean good morning with a penis or a vagina, Amy?
Exactly. Basically, just waves of that. But see, I love that. So like, I just do that to like. That's right. Oh, and we lost.
I scared her away. Damn it! I was too much praise. I did just. She posts some on her Twitter. She posts some gorgeous photos, and I just think she's a very attractive woman. So thank you.
And I just think it's funny that it was just Discord in general. It sometimes makes me feel like I am speaking into a void on there, but it's fun too. I like PNR and P, even though
I haven't seen you do anything since your Goldie debate. Have you done more since then? Because that was a train wreck.
I have not done another voice debate on there, but I should. Taco has offered me the chance, and James, we should just go on there and do it ourselves. Well, with Taco can do. Basically, Taco has offered and said, "Hey, do you want to do like a come to you and ask you questions? I'll host it," and so we could possibly do that.
I'm in that server. If you shoot me a message before you go in, I'll be happy to join you there. I'm just not going to stick my toes in there by myself. No, I do get a lot of friends requests from the boys over there, though. The boys over in
Amy, what's that show going to be called? Everyone Come on, Amy?
I think that is the running name, yes.
They will like
I had to do it. I had
you and then send you a friend request and like try to talk to you afterwards.
Well, also the pipeline for me on there very specifically is a death threat. So it starts with "I want to kill you, I hate you." And I'm like, okay, and they tell me very specifically how, and then I'm like, let's talk a little bit longer. And then it's like, wow, those things I very much despised you for, they weren't what I thought you were going to be. And then you talk a little bit more, and then it's the two routes that where Bree was kind of illuminating. There is the either a route. I now have someone who I basically have like therapy hour once a week. We just talk, and he's like, "You're the only person that I can actually open up to." This is, of course, I've seen a comedian recently say, like, "Do you really need to call them neo-aunties if they're really just not? They're really just the regular version." Or there's the other version where they're like, I'm not gay. And I'm like, that's always a sentence you need to preface. Okay, that's cool. But
I'm not gay.
I actually get a lot of "I'm not gay," but I saw your picture.
I'm not gay.
Exactly. That is that. But it's just an odd sentence that you need to start that. But hey, yes, exactly. So sending love. Oh, I know.
Do you remember the video that we made addressing Matt Powell, where you sent in a picture for me?
Yeah.
When I am pretty sure that
too.
I'm pretty sure Kent Hoven didn't show that to his followers because they want to keep that picture for themselves. He and Matt Powell.
Well, I actually did issue a challenge to Kent Hoven for a debate last night because I found a topic that I want to debate him on.
Where at?
Because I disagree. Well, I'm standing for truth if that's where he wants to debate. But I did request to have a pick of the
He's
moderator.
He's not going to do it on Kent Hoven official?
Oh yeah. Maybe he'll dock Dino.
Was he debating Grayson? Was he doing Grayson?
Yeah, he debated Grayson again.
How'd that go?
They've debated twice.
I
I questioned Grayson about his he has sort of a thing about beating up old men. It's yeah.
I love it. I love it how Kent Hovind on his channel says we have a debate on STF. I was thinking, who the fuck is STF?
But not
Stupid
STDs.
fucking toddlers.
Standing truth for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told him I one of the thing stipulations was I said I didn't want praise as one of the moderators. I am not going to put up with that.
Oh.
That was a stipulation I said in my video where I said I accepted the challenge. So I didn't even know he had challenged me until I saw someone sent me a video that said where he said he had my name listed as somebody who had tuck tails and run from his debate challenge. And I was like, "Fuck you! I didn't run from anything. Bring it on." You're
Moderator, be brave.
Ecology. Mm-hmm.
Bree, please do it on try and do it on Amy's channel. Challenge him because he's send him several clips where he said, "I will go on an atheist channel." Send him those clips and then say, "Okay, Amy Newman will host it." That to me would be my wet dream. You debating Kent Hovind while Amy's moderating, and then him having to explain that to his. And then him having to explain that to his followers.
Me and Amy would have to really freaking Dylan Mulvaney up our behavior and just be as freaking goofy bitch as we can. Just be all flappy and bouncing around and be all silly the whole time just to annoy those motherfuckers.
Oh my God,
Hey, Bree.
is this how you drink a beer?
Yeah, Bree, did you see the theme song for that Discord?
For the Discord. Which Discord? You send me stuff. You send me all kinds of fun stuff on Discord, Beamsy. Let me see.
No, I'll send you the theme song on Discord for their particular channel.
Okay, yeah, I'm here for it. Yeah, that's definitely that'd be a fun romp. I don't think Kent would agree to it. Maybe he would if he could if he could have his own moderator. That'd be like you can bring Donnie on to moderate on Amy's channel.
Bring Donnie on the
Bring your own moderator. I would completely accept it, but it just makes me want to have like a guy that he completely goes with him in like a suit he's just like, and here is my moderator, Fred.
Just some plain name.
I want to see that now. Donnie and Amy moderating that debate, and then Amy constantly forgetting his name and calling him Honey instead of Donnie.
Honey.
I want to see that.
Oh, I love Donnie. And I want, once again, creationists, you need to come on our channel. You should come all over us, and we're here for
Makes
it.
a good target.
That's the way. That's the way nature intended. We are as God made us.
Exactly. True goddesses, as you should come on and debate us.
Let me be the Eve in your garden.
Oh my.
I'm not gay, but
yeah.
Also, I can't help but ask you this. It's like in the middle of the thing, but Bree, I just want to ask you randomly, off topic, if you have any thoughts about Brett Keane being a cross-dresser.
I had not heard about that. Is this a new thing?
You're going to hear that right now. I know, not many people. I don't think he expects many people to watch that stream, but he was an ex-cross-dresser, actually. I shouldn't say because I can't give him credit or not credit. That's a weird thing. Credit is where credit's due. But he's just been doing a lot of anti-LGBTQ streams. Like if you hit Control F on like his channel, it's like the trannies are coming for you, A. The trannies are coming for you, B. The trannies are coming for you, C. You're like, I feel like you found a new shtick. And it turns out that,
it's going to take more than that to get us coming, Brett. You're going to have to put a little effort in.
Exactly. I feel like we need to be bedazzled.
Yeah. I'm just going to...
Queen
thing, Bree. I have to drop off. I need to get back to work. But
Oh,
Reid,
He has a
one thing.
job.
If you debate Kent Hovind, do me a real
Mhm.
favor.
Mhm.
Anywhere during the debate, say to Kent Hovind, Kent, my eyes are up here. Just once and see what happens.
Yeah.
I need that in my life, and you will be able to do it.
I do want to ask him how I know he identifies as a male, but I think that we should give him the opportunity to say that he identifies as he, him. I'm going to see if he'll do it. I don't think he will.
He says he identifies as a doctor because he's an idiot.
that's a good line. I like that.
Well, I have
That
a doctor
would be a
too. I have
really-
Dr. Scorpion, lives in this vivarium right over here. That's his name, Dr. Scorpion. So he's a doctor as well, in the same way.
He very specifically went to University of Basement. They have a very strict high. I'm not sure if they're accredited beyond anyone but his mom, but they're going there.
Okay. I have to drop off. Was good seeing all of you.
Bye,
Guys,
Peter.
I'll be listening,
Good
but
night,
if
Peter.
I start rendering, it's probably going to mess up with my connection on StreamYard. So you need to.
Not gonna
And
lie, I'm
we'll-
holding on pretty good, but I just did like a gram of mushrooms about 20 minutes before I came in here.
Bye, Peter.
It's yeah.
That's
Hello,
right.
Peter.
So I'm
And
wanting to reach out and
TOS,
grab and
he
touch the
very
eagle, but
much is speaking about the mushrooms that you cook and eat that you put on a pizza.
You
Mhm.
can't
That's
touch.
very
You can't touch
specifically.
my.
You
You
can't
can't
touch
touch
this,
my.
dude.
I
eagle.
want to
That's-
pet your eagle
fine.
right now so much. I'm so that's the first thing that appealed to me when you said you're leaving. I'm like, is that eagle gonna
Right.
leave before I can pet it?
Rachel,
See, that's
and,
that's my problem. I've got the eagle and I got my bull terrier, and everyone wants to pet. No one wants to pet me. It's
Yeah.
always the one
Aw.
who's accompanying me. So
So
that
yeah.
that mustache
I
though.
can understand.
Come
I
on,
mean-
ladies. Who can resist that?
who can't that I know of. Okay, catch you guys later.
Bye, Peter.
Bye, everyone.
See you, Peter.
Bye.
Rachel and myself have some. I bought some for Haley a long time ago, and that did not go well. She wouldn't take
From
them.
what?
I wish I could get some psilocybin. I wish I could have
Oh.
gotten it in her mouth because I asked her
Could have
because
benefited from it.
exactly. It was a waste of money, but to me it would have been an investment because I was like, please, I'm gonna be a better human being. Just come out of this a better human being. One more human being in this universe, and we will have come back out of this transaction a better deal. But she wouldn't take it. But we're probably gonna take some on one of these weekends where I have time.
I wish you were closer so I could come party with you guys when you're doing that. We could hang out and do something fun.
That would be fun.
Well, I'll tell you, good ma'am, as I know this channel gets larger, eventually I want to do a convention. And so the Skeptic and Ranting Community Con is going to be one of these days upcoming.
Yeah, I would love to do go to Westboro Baptist Church shit with you and interview people.
Oh, I would
I
love
think
to do
that
that.
would be
That'd be
fun.
so much fun if we could go. If me and you could go do that.
My body is so ready for stuff like that because they really only have one shtick, and that is to be like really inflammatory the first time. But then after that doesn't work, they're kind of left like, you're still here?
Yeah.
I told you you should be going to hell, and your kid is down there right now, right? We're like, yeah, we use the F word, right? Yeah, kind of turned us on a little.
All
Yeah,
you
once
need
they
to do
realize
is
that
turn
they
up-
can't make you cry, right, or send you running.
Yes.
Go on, Beamsy. I'm sorry.
All you
Yes,
need to do
Ray,
is
you
turn
can.
up with a bunch of bongs and a big sign. So when they say stone the gays, light up. And then if they say to kill the gays, you have choke me, daddy.
That's right. Choke me, daddy. Stone me. Get me stoned.
all of that stuff, all the transphobia is only skin deep. Once you engage with any of them, it's once you get beyond it being just part of their culture and start trying to understand why they as an individual feel that way. Like Amy says, you go down a freaking rabbit hole of indoctrination and thought policing and emotional policing, especially with the males. It's
A lot of
emotional
sexual
policing.
repression.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Yeah.
I've been called transphobia because I wanted to have discussions in regards to some of the bills that are happening in the US.
Oh my, yes. Well, that unfortunately is a giant reactionary movement to the fact that we actually got our rights. So now that trans people were actually able to exist within society, the religious people were like, well, what do we do now? We can't have that. And so now these new, basically fear tactic laws, it is the same thing. It has been the same thing. They've used this to attack LGBTQ, women, and minorities. And they always use it with this tagline, ironically. Oh, please, someone, won't you think of the women and children? Anyone, someone, save the women and children. Now, they don't give up about the women or children. Like, if we were to be like, okay, so you believe about access to abortion, you believe about, how about supporting, okay, how about just supporting single mothers or supporting low-earning families so they can succeed? No,
Amy.
none of that shit.
They spend all their time watching collegiate women's sports. That's all they care about. Collegiate women's
I know.
volleyball.
All they do is care about
Collegiate
all
women's
of
swimming and equestrian, and yeah, that's it.
Also,
Or even when something like they were voting on like a bill that was going to provide protections for children that were victims of like child sexual exploitation, and of course, who voted against it? Like almost every Republican.
Exact, because they care about children. Don't you understand? Who are the people that are voting in to undo a lot of child labor laws right now? That's right. You heard me right. Trying to undo child labor laws. Well, it is not the non-religious secular people. Let me tell you that.
Because of the so-called labor shortage, because they have decided that the minimum wage doesn't need to go up, but inflation tends to go up, and the actual living expenses right now to be about $25 an hour. Federal minimum wage stagnates at $7.25 American. Disgusting.
So
Well, actually,
They
what
want
they're
to fight
coming
for
out
the minimum
saying,
wage to stay at the same rate and for the age of consent to get lower.
well, actually, what they're actually coming out now and saying is, hey, I mean, well, AI and automation is displacing workers. So what they really want to do is, well, we need to talk about maybe scaling down the minimum wage, maybe make it more competitive so places won't automate. So yeah, we'll just have a bunch of people making $4 an hour doing work. That's really what they want. Yeah.
Holy shit. Yes. And okay, I'm gonna just send more love to someone who's sending us love, and then this is really the last call. This is the last. I keep on. We are probably on 80 time. I said 20 minutes, like 30 minutes ago, whatever. But this is the last 10 minutes. This is it. We are heading to our outros, but because we got love, we need to show some love. A big $10 super chat from Disciple Day. I'm late too, and let me tell you, there's no late here. We're always fashionably on time. Return to the party. So I will come into chat another time, but it is never too late to send some love. Bling, bling, y'all. Thank you so very much, Chris. And that's right, we're sending all that love right back to you. Oh my, it is very interesting to just see all these bills, though. But, you know,
80% of them I just don't understand, because the people who are trans should have the rights of being people because they're people. there's a few that I half agree with, but the way they're instituting it, I disagree with. That's what I don't
Are
understand.
we really people, though? I mean, I think I've transcended that a little bit. I'm almost a goddess.
Here we go.
No, it's simple. Your gender is female. That's the way that it should
Yeah,
be, and your
I
sex
believe
is
you.
none of my business.
Ramen.
But that's the way it
That's
should
the way
be.
that's the way it's always been until about 10 minutes ago when everybody decided they needed to do genital checks outside the bathrooms and start
Specifically,
policing.
Ted Haggard will be doing those checks. Bree.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I don't understand. Your genitals really have nothing to do with your gender because it's your secondary sexual characteristics that define gender, and genitals are primary sexual characteristics.
There are very few genitals that we've seen in life unless we are, I guess, consistently going around looking at genitals, which
Yeah.
I think the police may be checking by soon.
Well,
And that's why I think that when it comes to public interactions, it should be based on gender. But when it comes to medical concerns, it should be the individual's concern and be based on sex.
And your doctor.
That's
yeah,
why I
that's-
say it's medical concerns.
I mean that's the lovely thing about this thing that we call freedom. Okay, you don't like how someone else, the clothes they wear, they express their gender. You don't
Also,
think
James,
they should be
it's
getting
not
the medical
just
treatment?
freedom, it's freedom.
Freedom.
Okay, continue.
Yeah, freedom.
I thought the plural of freedom was freedoms.
Freedoms or freedom fries.
And you better put muff freedoms.
We can't
Yeah.
help ourselves. I'm sorry, James. That's
Well, freedom means
two
they don't
jokes.
have to care about what other people think about how they express their gender. If you don't like it, cram it. Go
Yeah,
fuck
it
yourself.
just
Nobody
that I don't
cares.
understand the way that people are so emotionally charged about it. Because as far as I'm concerned, we've got 3 females and 2 males in this channel right now. Because all I can do is base it on your secondary characteristics.
Sure.
And your sex has really got none of my business. But I know
Well, a
full
lot of
well.
it, a lot of it is somebody looks at like Bree or Amy and they might think, oh, she's kind of attractive, and then like, whoa, what does that mean? I'm gay? I can't be gay. I'm not gay. Is that? And then their head just spins, and so they no, you can't dress like that because it's going to confuse me, and I'm not gay.
And that's what they're mad about. Deep
That's
down
a lot of
inside.
it. Deep down inside is they feel like they're gay, or if they think a trans woman is.
We did
attractive.
have someone, a gentleman, very specifically say, "You can't be trans because I would look better in a dress."
Yeah.
We're like, okay.
I'm well aware that I look terrible.
A
in the
lot to
dress.
unpack there.
Yeah. I would not look great good in a dress.
Oh, I guarantee you, he unpacks every night.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
it's more to do probably with my mental disability that I just don't understand why people get so emotionally charged about it.
Can I tell you one push that we've had here is that I have seen an article or two. Now, an article or two, I feel like I need to do even more research, but there's been a consistent push to find whatever wedge issue they could make. And they couldn't find it with gay marriage anymore. Turns out that we are starting to be more accepting of interracial couples and women in leadership positions. And so what is the only fruit left after they, of course, gone over both of those groups for decades? Well, transgenders. That is the new scary thing. And so they look for very specific niche things. No one knew about Drag Queen Story Hour until they found this one bougie place in San Francisco where they were actually already teaching their kids how to read, but now they were actually going out of their way to make sure they liked reading. Unlike, funding our K through 12, we should continue to do. But then you learn about this through the pipelines. They throw this out to every channel it goes on, and they're consistent. They're like, we're going to put this on every news. We're going to put this on Fox and Newsmax. We're going to put this on, InfoWars. It's going to be as scary as possible. And you're going to hear this from Grandma and Uncle Steve when he comes over. And you're going to go, they're all saying the same thing. Maybe it's me. Maybe I should be the one who should have known about Drag Queen Story Hour. And the answer is no. No, you shouldn't have. I mean, it's nice that they were doing it, but the fact is, if your main issues are sports, as much as I love sports, I go local team. I don't really give a shit. But as much as I love people enjoying sports, it's a first world problem to be caring about this. Locker rooms. Once you get down to the bathroom, you actually are affecting. Not your first world problems are now
potty
affecting.
policing.
You're now making it like if I had to choose a bathroom in a state that made it illegal for me to use the bathroom wrong, I would break the law. I have no problem with that. No, now
it's why did you have to go and make it weird? Is really the question.
Yes.
Here, right?
Well, why did you have to make it really unsafe for me? Because now you are going to embolden people that think not only that, but you're going to have a lot of people now trying to guess whether people are trans, and you're going to get a lot of people that get assaulted for like just to be super serial for a moment. You're going to have those assholes that like go after butch women or go after, or the opposite, go after maybe a feminine guy. Who the knows? They're going to go after people, but that's not. They're now going to just put in these really terrible laws that were first world made up problems to begin with. Like if you wake up in the morning and you go, holy shit, how can I even function? Because Leah Thomas, or whatever the fuck her name is, was able to match a record. I don't even think she won. I think it was like she and another girl became both tied.
Tied for sixth place, I think it was.
How could I even go to work today? How am I going to feed my kids? How are there were going to be tanks that were rolling over my country's borders. However, I really do have to think about how much a certain woman is tucking while she's swimming. No! I get it. We can, oh no, go continue. I'm just ranting. I'll go on for a while if you don't stop.
There's also like an intersectional aspect to like women's sports and the whole gender check thing with like how long women of color have been like masculinized by people and like viewed as less feminine than white women and light-skinned women. And there's a whole thing in sports where like this whole thing with like Riley Gaines and like all these like very like privileged female athletes that, you know, a lot of this is kind of going to be used in a both in a bigoted way towards trans people, but also in a very racist way where they can just easily accuse any woman of color that isn't fitting of like these, you know, like the delicate little like standard of female beauty.
Are they going to come after women with alopecia?
Trans, so
they may.
Yeah,
they're going to come after them like Michelle Obama.
She needs to be tested. We need to like, and you know, this whole guise of we're trying to protect cisgender female athletes. Like, okay, so everybody having to undergo like hormonal checks and genital checks is going to protect cisgender female athletes in what way? Because a lot of cisgender women that are in like sports have naturally higher elevated like testosterone levels and are gonna test, you know, like it's bullshit.
Did you notice? No, and not at all. Do you notice how much they came to the defense of Brittany Griner? They had their chance to sit there and defend a biological woman in women's sports. Oh my.
But she doesn't fit that, you know, that little, like, she's not a little petite princess, so she doesn't fit that standard. She's too masculine. So they automatically like demonize her, and it's fucking gross.
That's why I'm in two minds about the sports aspect to it, because I can see that it's a no-win situation. If one side wins, it's going to upset a small amount of people. If the other side wins, they're going to use that as a bludgeon to attack a small amount of people. And how do you do the right thing in that situation?
Well, but the right thing is that when somebody is undergoing hormone treatment, they're not going to have any type of an advantage. So it's really about like, do you have your competitive edge on game or not? Like, are you a fucking good athlete or not? And you know what? If you lose, you lose. Like, that's just how it is. Like, but people are going to use that as a tool to fearmonger and to scare people into, you know, believing like there's some threat to them, when in reality it's just, okay, you just don't really understand like the, you know.
And my other big sell would be that they're trying to make this as if like these are the biggest issues that we have. These are the people that used to say like, oh, why aren't we talking about taxes and the things that, you know, people really care about that puts food on people's table. And it's like, on the next episode, we're talking about Drag Queen Story Hour. You're like, oh, I had no idea the drag queens were out to get your children. Didn't know that
Like
reading was
Jehovah's
also
Witnesses on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. It's RuPaul trying to convert the world.
There was actually a story that I just read recently about some kids' field trip got canceled because they were supposed to go to James and the Giant Peach. It was like a play version of it.
I was just reading that.
Yes.
That was stupid. I can't believe they did that.
And it's like that the history of acting is like, women were not allowed to act originally, and it originally was men in drag that were acting female roles. Like, that is the fucking history of acting. And it's like,
Tsunami, was it you that retweeted that thing? That's like name one Shakespeare play that's raunchy or adult oriented all weight or something like that. I was like, oh my god, you've never read Shakespeare? If you read it, you didn't understand it, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's like every fucking Shakespeare play is like the dirtiest, like everything is like some like double entendre or some dirty joke. Or
Midsummer's Night's Eve is like the whole thing is about an orgy, about getting to the orgy, and oh Jesus, the beast with two backs comes from Shakespeare.
Yeah, just the logic that they're using is why I definitely will side against them, because it does not exist in logic, and I just do not get where they come from.
The people who warned us that it was turned into 1984 are now outlawing 1984. So, like the book, it's outlawed.
Oh, that book thing. Yo, can I also ask you, does anyone want to guess where Ron DeSantis got married? You all can get a guess. Anybody? Come on, it's a big world. It's a really big world.
It can't be Mar-a-Lago because he had to have been married
close.
before Trump bought that.
Oh, close.
I'll give you a close. It's a very magical place.
Disneyland. Did he get married at Disneyland?
Got married at Disney.
Oh my gosh.
100% did.
That's too perfect. I wish you had a picture of their wedding.
Oh my god, he would get married there. That's so as like a Disney adult, like I have to say, Disney weddings are so tacky. They're so tacky. Oh.
Yeah, I've never been to Disney. I feel really terrible about it.
No, I would like to go too. I went to a lot of Atlantic City more. I need to go to Disney.
That's the most magical place on the earth in a different way, Amy.
A different way.
Different flavors for different folks, I would say.
I haven't been to Disney in a few years, but I work at the Disney for adults, so.
Yeah. Have you ever dressed up as a
lot of-
princess?
No. I'm dressed up as Link from Zelda, though.
Yeah.
Ooh. I have a bunch of Disney Coach purses. Once again, we're just very random, but gonna put that out there.
You have the B Coach purse too, don't you?
I do. Listen,
Yeah.
I kind of had a
Mhm.
thing in the past year about purses that shouldn't have happened. Like I had, because I wanted to organize my purses, but then I organized them and I ended up buying some. And then, ladies and gentlemen, you don't need this many purses. You really don't. But they're so cute.
Can we
What
make
we
a joke
talking
about
about? What
Tsunami
the-
being? Can we make a joke about Tsunami getting played in or paid in Disney dollars or whatever it is?
Oh my.
The joke from The Simpsons where they paid the employees in the store money or in the in
Oh my
park
god, I
money.
would take Disney merchandise in a heartbeat. I'm like a little crackhead
Okay.
with like Disney
Just-
merchandise.
just like-
Woo!
Yeah. What's your favorite Disney what's the word I'm looking for? Product that they produce. Title. Disney title. There you go.
Franchise? Like
Yeah.
of course I love Star Wars, but like I actually don't really like I don't want to say I don't like where the direction Disney has taken it, but like
It's more kid
But,
directed, I think.
I'm definitely big on like the princesses.
So when I get robbed one day, I just want to at least have this like put into record. But here's my 101 Dalmatians Coach bag, kind of adorable. Just putting it out
Aw.
there. But then we just have to go right there. Come on, that's kind of cute, right?
Ursula.
How come Esmeralda doesn't count as a Disney princess?
Because she's not, because
Oh.
she's Romani.
I always thought that was annoying.
That is, Esmeralda is my go-to like Disney character to cosplay though. She's the only representation that I have.
Well, I remember you said you were Romani, and that made me think of that because you said because she deserved because she got to be what they call her, like Queen of the Gypsies or something, but that's not the same, I guess. But they put Elsa, and she's a queen, not a princess. But she starts the movie as a princess, I suppose. I don't
Makes
know.
me
I'm
think
just
of
trying
Zelda.
to make
The
the
thing
girl
Zelda,
from
everybody's always like, "Oh, Princess Zelda," but there's at least a couple titles where she's functioning as the queen, and like they need to put some respect on my bitch's name. Okay,
Queen Zelda.
Queen
yeah.
Zelda.
Damn right.
Which
Did
reminds
you
me-
know that
Mhm.
Link was a girl? Wait.
Pink Link?
Zelda was a girl.
think-
I remember when
I-
people freaked out about them saying, "Oh, they put."
I
Emma
feel like I got
Watson
I
poster.
did the joke wrong.
You did it backwards.
I did it backwards. I think I did it right. Wait.
Kind of backwards, yeah. Because
I'm trying.
Zelda is chic, and
That's
chic
true.
when she's chic, you're supposed to call her him. Like that is like Nintendo said, like don't fuck around with that. Chic is a man.
I liked Link when he dresses like the Vo from when he goes when Breath of the
Yes.
Wild, when you go into the city and Link dresses like a harem girl.
That's gonna be
freaking
my
that
next
lady.
cosplay.
That lady boy look is working for Link. I'm just saying, or not lady boy, a femboy. Lady boy is something different.
Listen, we will take both on this channel.
Yeah, we don't
I
discriminate.
have to say,
I'll
whenever
say thank you,
I
Michael.
whenever I wear my Link cosplay, I have so many guys that will come up to me and be like, "I've never thought about Link like that before," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Probably had so many guys that are like, this feels a little uncomfortable, but it's still something still working down here. So Link becomes yes.
They can't deny it.
They can't deny it. Brett Keane can fry it. I love you, Brett. Oh my, we're gonna do a stream on him
How can you
tomorrow.
tell
We're
if
about
it-
to go to outros.
How can you tell if it's Brett or Peter? Because
You really
can't.
Brett King.
No. This is it's on his channel. Like he released a video with a picture of a boy looking into the mirror, and it's a girl. It's literally called like My Personal Experience. But like he's released so many anti-transgender videos that like
talk
he's
to us, Brett.
developing a anti-trans. So it makes no surprise to me that it's going to get like no views and no comments, because if you're an anti-transgender channel and you release a video called "I used to cross-dress," it probably makes your audience go, ooh, okay, just, whatever.
I'm saying, Brett, come talk to us. It's okay. We're not dangerous at all in any way, shape, or form. Y'all are always saying we're not transphobic because we're not afraid. Well, if you're not afraid, come talk to us. We're right here. Amy has how many nights a week do you have an open panel?
Let's say we try and do 2 or 3 shows, at least 2 of those. At least come on and talk.
Yeah, I'll be happy to come on and participate. Let's have a discussion, Brett.
And
Yeah.
no, Disciple Day, that is, first of all, a amazing name. So not at all. And Pookykins, you are making me laugh. Sending love to Pookykins, send love to you all. All right, panel, I really said this. If you have anything else to say, this is probably now to do so. If not, we're going to be wrapping it up. But it's been fun. We've been Midnight Ranting on Does Religion Do More Harm Than Good, along with a bunch of other... We can't help... It's so funny. Within the past decade, all I got from these religious people was just all you do is talk about being transgender. And now I host... Well, we try and host as many topics as we can, get our skeptic hands around, and now all they can talk about is being trans. It's just...
That's it.
It
I'm
really
so
does
tired of
drive
that
me
being
insane.
all that they want to talk about. I love talking about science. Arguing about science.
What kills me is I look at my phone. I don't know why. I follow like 100 or some amount of people on like Twitter. And every time I look down and it's like I see like a Jordan Peterson, I look at a quote, he's saying something. I'm like, I know it's something about being a tranny. I know it's some sort of anti-trans article. Like, that's all they care about. And it just... Why? Oh, I know why. Because of fear. But we'll get over it. And, yeah.
I'm going to go off camera. Chat. I'm starting to have some visual reactions. But I'll do my closing statement. I'll do my closing statement here before I lose the ability to articulate myself.
Well, you're starting us off anyway because you were the latest to join us, but you can turn that. We are Midnight Ranting. Does religion do more harm than good? And we are going into our outros. Woo! That's right. We got Bree here because she is having a fantastic time on Midnight Ranting. Does religion do more harm than good? Bree, where are you and what are you doing on the interwebs and what are your final thoughts?
All right, I am Bree from Hive Science at Hive Sci. You'll find me just about anywhere. I got a link tree that has all those links to all my stuff. So if somebody wants to drop that, it's just the link tree at Hive Sci. Anyway, I know lots of people out there in the live chat know me and are friends of the Hive, if not part of the swarm itself. But I'm so glad that I get to come on here and hang out with Amy and James on a fairly regular basis, off and on. But I try to make it into these things as much as possible, and that I can have the chance to engage with anybody about any topics in a debate. Here is a platform that Amy has always said was open to me. So I do want to inquire right now because me and Mark have been looking for a place to host it. And I think that we've decided that we're going to ask if you would host it, a debate about morality in animals. So that is something I would like you to consider moderating for us. If we can get that on the books sometime in the coming weeks, that'd be great. Other than that, I have a weekly show I do every Saturday morning, live from the Hive. We do we look at like cryptozoology and stuff like that. We look at younger creationists like Kent Hovind and that sort of stuff. I also do like to engage in some debates on occasion. So hopefully I'll have more of those coming up in the future. I did, like I said, was saying earlier in the chatter, I was saying that I had challenged Ken Hovind to a debate, and I'm still holding to that. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's about all I have to say. Oh, I guess I want to say something about the topic at hand. I was lucky enough that I was actually removed from the religious society as a child, but I don't know if that was up to my benefit, because I was ostracized quite a bit by not having that religious foundation in my inner group. How I mentioned earlier about the family level, the familial level being the level at which religion should probably stop, in my opinion. I didn't have any of that at all in my upbringing, so that made me an outcast because I wasn't part of any church, and it made it really awkward making friends in younger years. So if there was any benefit of religion, it's that once you have religion everywhere, people that don't have religion seem like weirdos. That's all I want to say.
Thank you so very much, Bree. It was lovely having you on. Keep on coming on, and I hope you have a lovely trip. Clicking buttons is fun. Sumami, we have been Midnight Ranting on Does Religion Do More Harm Than Good? Lovely having you on. What you got going on the internet, and what are your final thoughts?
I guess my final thoughts are I don't think that religion is beneficial to society or even individuals in any way, because it is just a tool to exploit and oppress. And even on an individual level,
Am I tripping? Does she sound like a robot? Make it stop.
It has a little bit of static or lagging, and that's a funny reaction, Bree. I love you.
Well, I guess maybe I should just cut it short then, because my connection is not great.
Don't blame. No, now that I know it's okay, I'm fine. Now that I know it's really happening, I'm good, sweetie. You go on. I love you. I'm so happy I got to be on a panel with you.
What was I saying?
Religion kind of sucks.
Yeah, even on an individual level, it's just going to be something that people use as a crutch and something to, I don't know, distract them from reality and the truth, and that's not good for anybody's brain, I don't think.
Rob,
That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much, Sumami, and keep on coming on.
Good night, everybody.
Beamsy, we have been Midnight Ranting on Does Religion Do More Harm Than Good? That is an adorable cat on your screen. And what are your final thoughts?
I'm trying to get this camera working, but it's just doing stills at the moment. Well, that's what I've got next to me at the moment anyway.
That's a good still to have. That's okay.
It's a bit blurry because she's cleaning, but yeah. Religion does have its purposes. Religion does have its purposes. It's the same thing with everything in society. It's all about how it's used. There are religions out there that do far more harm than good, but there are others out there that do more good than harm. The unfortunate thing is, with too vague a question, it's very difficult to answer if it would be yes or no. I think it's because of the sheer numbers of a religion as a whole, they do either more benign or good than harm. But the ones that most people would experience, either the Abrahamic or some of the Eastern religions, and they do more harm than good. I just think it's a very malformed question to answer. So it's very difficult to answer.
Woo-hoo! Thank you so very much, Beamsy. Lovely having you on
Thanks,
as
Beamsy.
always. Mwah. Also, keep on worshiping up that ass.
Oh, that's a side religion.
Exactly. The only true goddess we know of. Job. James, thank you for bringing up this topic. This was, I feel like, our classic bread and butter. It was lovely to have everybody on, and we were
Certainly
midnight
was.
ranting on does religion do more harm than good?
Yeah, guys, thanks for coming on. As I said before, I'm not 100% today, but happy to participate at least a little bit. Thanks for coming on, and we'll be back hopefully tomorrow for our manatee roast. So come back for that.
Woohoo! Thank you so very much, James. That's right. We are doing our response video. We did a video on a topic that he had asked about us, and then he did a response. And so we're going to have a response, though we're going to always title it in a way that is a coherent topic. That way it's not just to you. Oh, to you. But also here is to Fiverr if you would like. We have multiple ways that you can get content out there. If you are a Patreon or a channel member, a Twitch subscriber of the show, we will help you create a show on our Talk Skeptic to Me broadcast where you could talk about any subject that you want. However, if you want to have your own show, come talk to me down at Fiverr, and we can figure out how I can help you get up and running or more subscribers or monetized. You cannot, however, buy subscribers. We'll just give that out to any creationist content creators out there that would like to know. You can, however, do marketing and SEO and make higher quality content, which will help people actually want to listen to you. Funny how that works. No more Ken Hoven official. Then again, no more EA Dawa. Glad I didn't win that one over. Let me tell you. Talk about not having, not aging well. Let me tell you. But I think that's all the shilling except for the shill of the Patreon, which I'll talk about. I'll send it in the stream, but I'll do that. But I think we're about to head out to the Discord for any after show if anyone would like. But there is the Patreon, and here is a cat. Oh my. A buttercup we have. A buttercup we have. Oh, a spider cat we have. A spider cat we have. And the spider cat does whatever a spider cat would do. Very specifically. Yes, I hope you all had a fantastic episode on this Midnight Ranting. Does religion do more harm than good? Someone's got the zoomies. Where we had some fun losing our religion. I do want to thank my co-host James W. along with our fantastic guest. Ding! Ding! Let the gears turn for me. Beamsy! Scott, Peter, Sumami, Bree, and Buttercup. Right back there.
And Gilbert!
And Gilbert with all the memes. Yes, he does unfortunately have a 14 trillion year contract with us. As well as all the people in chat, our awesome mods who make this stream so great. And of course, lovely viewers like you who make this channel even possible. If you enjoy the show, well, hey, it does help us when you hit that like button because it tells YouTube, I guess this is high quality. I guess we'll can send this out into the feed to follow or subscribe. And then if you do subscribe and you want to see more of us by hitting that bell icon to all, you will actually get our premieres or our live streams. We just released something last night. We're going to be releasing more things and more live streams. Or hey, why not somehow talk about a straight voice? I hope he came out, James. I really do. Like the different person that's stuck in the closet. Oh, the amount of people that we have that are stuck in the closet. It's okay. It's going to be okay. It gets better. Or hey, why not leave a comment once the video's done? Oh my goddess. I mean, I like our junk. I think our junk is cool. I just feel like go to a movie, do jogging. I don't know. Go bowling? There's just a lot out there to the world. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, you can also leave a super thanks. That's like a super chat, but it's after the show is done. And we can also give you thanks on the next episode. After the show, Skeptic and Ranting Discord server opens up, the link of which is in description below, along with all of our fantastic channel members, many of which are commander captains of the Girl Deck, meaning they have 2 out of 3 of our supporter level tiers of either channel membership, which you can become right down below by hitting that join button, and getting badges that trigger the creationists because they evolve, and they say that nothing evolves. Once again, evolution is a fact. I understand that we use the theory of evolution just like we use the germ theory of disease, but germs existing also a fact.
Yeah.
Yes, also the
And
best
we finally
way.
went to the stream.
What's that?
Like this. So yeah, we put the stream off, but we finally did it. Yay.
We did it. We made
got
it.
it.
We have been successful. But yes, the best way to support the channel and unlock some unique perks is by checking out our Patreon and becoming a supporter at patreon.com/Amy Newman. I'm Amy Newman, and we will see you all on the next episode of Skeptic Buzzy.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Mwah. Stiletto and Keegan and Emma